Boys are going to bring the heat today.
As the leader of the Booner Pack, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the f*** up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juice pumping, boys.
All right, welcome. Crunch Time Sports, Friday, October 17th. I don't know if the music's loud enough here. Music sounds a little bit louder now. October 17th. Nice little Friday. The people, you have Booner again. It's not a full the week of Booner. We're not running that back again because it is football season. Jeff Iafrate is out for the night. We have a packed, even though Jeff's out, we have a packed show. Jeff will be actually in the show at some point tonight for about a 15-minute span. But we do have a very, very packed show today. Obviously, I'm going to talk a little bit here for the first 30 minutes. Just talk to the people, to be honest. Talk about this Lions game coming up. Some news today, obviously the Brian Branch stuff. I've been saying this. I've been saying it's Brian Branch versus the NFL in the NFL films. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Caleb will actually be joining the show at 8:30, and he'll be hopping on for the last 90 minutes. We're going to talk some Lions with him for the first 30-ish minutes, and then we're going to do a pick 'em, obviously, around 8:15-ish in over-unders for the game. And then at about 8:40, 8:50, I'm going to talk some Tigers with Caleb. We don't really talk Tigers a lot, me and Jeff. We tried to a little bit. I want to have a conversation with Caleb at 9 o'clock. If people didn't see the tweet or anything, we are having and if you're a real Crunch Time Sports fan, you know the man. Or if you're just a Barstool Sports fan, you know the man. Stephen Shay, Buccaneers fan, Barstool Sports. He does the Fox 1 show with them in the morning. He does a bunch of different things there. He's on the Yak. He's on a bunch of different shows, but obviously he's a big Bucs fan. He's one of the bigger Bucs fans in the world. Works with John Gruden, which, thinking about it, didn't talk to him about John Gruden. I will reach out and maybe I'll have a conversation to see about John Gruden. But he will be on the show at 9 o'clock. It is, I will preface to the people. I know some people... I'll just say pre-recorded. It's a pre-recorded. We had him last night. That was before the show. We were a little late. Just timing with everything. We do a late show, so it's hard to get people on here live at 8 p.m. that have families or work for a living, and they are busy. So we were able to get him on yesterday, talk some Bucks with him. It's always fun. There is something in the interview at 9 o'clock that there will be some type of breaking news in there. So you do want to stick around for that. I'm working on figuring something out here for that breaking news, but yeah, the people will hear that. So at 9 o'clock, we'll have Stephen Shay from Barstool. He'll be on and we'll run that interview so people can kind of get a little preview. Actually, I'll say this. I do love talking to Shay. Great dude, first of all, great human, but also like he is very knowledgeable when it comes to the Bucs. And over the last 2 years, we have played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 3 times in 2 years. So we've obviously, we learn a lot from him when he comes in, especially this year. It's kind of a new year. They do have a lot of the same pieces, but, obviously their defense a little different with Hassan Reddick. They do it. And yesterday we were kind of insinuating a little bit of the few things that Shay talked about. Just some interesting thoughts. Obviously, Casey Rogers now, our D-line coach who was with Todd Bowles for years. He talked about that. He talked about this offense without all those weapons. He broke all these weapons that they have currently down for you guys, broke down their defense for you guys, their new OC. There was a lot of actually good information that he talked about here for us as well, going into this Bucs game on Monday Night Football. So I'm pumped up. Shay will be on the show at 9 o'clock. Caleb will be joining around 8:30, so we'll have him for 30 minutes, and then we'll run the interview, and then we'll get into around the NFL pick 'em, all those sort of things. So yeah, I won't be solo here all night long. Phil said, yeah, Caleb breaks Booner's nose. I don't know about that. Is that because of yesterday? Caleb did say he wants to address the whole betting situation yesterday. And for people who don't know, too, I will throw this out there. Completely different situation. If you weren't here yesterday on the show, Caleb texted our group chat on winner of Jonnu Smith first touchdown, but didn't send it to anyone. I hit Jonnu Smith touchdown, didn't send it because I didn't give it to anyone. I only talked to Jeff about it because I told Jeff, take Jonnu Smith. I also told Jeff, and this is where people are going to be like a little bit, whoa. I also gave Jeff a 4-leg touchdown parlay with Jonnu Smith, Pat Fryermuth, Noah Fant, and Jaylen Warren. It was $6 to win $4,500, and Jaylen Warren got a touchdown called back. Jaylen Warren got to the 2-yard line. Luckily for me, I cashed out and made money. I cashed out. A lot of the people who watch the show know I never cash out. I did cash out last night. I texted the group without giving them the bet, and they were like, "Oh, you didn't give us the bet." But I was giving it to them to cash out. Say, "Hey, should I cash out, boys?" That was what I was doing. But yeah, hey, let's do this too. For the first 30 minutes too, I want to do this for the people, Just a Fan, Shift Guy, Nick P, Mike Reed. Welcome to the show, everyone. Phil, I know it's a Friday. Wings are playing. They're up 1-0. We might not have the biggest show today where there's a million people in here. A lot of people probably watch later. But if you are in here and you are watching and you guys want to ask me questions over the next 30 minutes, I'm going to talk about the game. I'm going to talk about the Brian Branch stuff. I'm going to talk about all of that. If you guys have any questions or any comments or anything you guys want me to talk about over the next 30 minutes, open forum here for the first. I'm not going to answer anything, but when it has to do with the Lions, Tampa, or the Brian Branch situation, anything like that, throw it in the chat. I'll start it and I'll get to it here. I do want to start off here. I don't know if I'm allowed to play a Pat McAfee clip, so I'm not going to play it. I don't want to be solo. I did a whole week solo, and I never got a strike on our YouTube, which I'm proud of that. I'm happy I didn't do that. But today I really want to play this Pat McAfee clip because Pat McAfee, so if people don't know this, yesterday, we talked about it on the show yesterday. And just let me pull the tweet up, to be honest, just to give you guys some context, I guess, a little bit. Because there's probably some people in here tonight who weren't here yesterday and didn't see kind of what happened with the Brian Branch situation. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Where the NFL Films tweeted out, and it's ridiculous at the end of the day from NFL Films, and they knew it. So the NFL Films tweeted out here. Can the people see this? Yes. A video of Brian Branch getting hit in the back and all of his bad plays. They essentially tweeted out a video of all of his highlights, and this is the caption of it. I got blocked in the back. Louis Riddick breaks down the Brian Branch rough night that led up to his end of game actions. And I don't want to play the video. We can't obviously play it. But essentially it has all of the bad highlights of Brian Branch versus the Chiefs. Him getting hit in the back, him getting beat by Xavier Worthy, him getting beat by Travis Kelce. Like, that stuff happens. Yeah. It was essentially like a 60, 70 second clip of all bad plays from Brian Branch. And it wasn't just like, hey, they just put that together. They also had Louis Riddick commenting over it, being like, Brian Branch gets put on ice skates by Xavier Worthy or something, like really, really weird. And if people don't know, like, NFL Films, they do typically tell both sides of stories, but the main point of NFL Films is to prop out and push out the storylines of the NFL for the players. It's not for them to tear down players, anything like that. They pride themselves, or they're supposed to pride themselves on picking up and giving a spotlight and a platform of players and what actually happens in games. And is this turning point thing, obviously, and this is what I said yesterday, to where I thought maybe the mistake that was made through NFL Films was, Anakin said it's run by ESPN. I believe NFL Films is the NFL. They're just their own entity of the NFL as a whole. So they might be partially as well ESPN, but I do know all three of them might be together because the NFL Network is now going to be a part of ESPN too. So everything's intertwined. My thought process yesterday when I talked to the people about this, the Brian Branch NFL Films thing, was I felt like they tweeted this out, and I told Jeff, I said, I believe that in my mind, there has to be a longer video that is giving context and leading up throughout the whole game of different things happening in the game. And this was a small part of a 10-minute, film that they do. Now, that was me without knowing. Fast forward to today, that was confirmed that, hey, this turning point video is what they call it, turning point. It was just a clip within the 9-minute video that they made about the Chiefs game and the whole situation that happened. Now, the problem that comes down to it, and I think where people are mad, at least me and I would expect Lions fans, is the clip that they took it so far out of context and essentially just put a hate film or a smear campaign out of Brian Branch, without context to it, of basically being like, this is the bad person Brian Branch is. This is what he did to get the suspension. It was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's not what you guys are about. So if people didn't see, and let me go find it here real quick too, because let me stop sharing. The NFL Films, they did actually put out a statement today. And I don't know, man, like, does a statement do anything afterwards? No. Like in McAfee and them, they all spoke about it today. And that's why I wanted to play the McAfee part. Let me see if I can find this statement. I wanted to play the McAfee part because McAfee actually, and people, I don't know if you like or dislike McAfee. I don't really care, to be honest. I like McAfee. I pay attention. I watch. The whole situation with him where he brings up a good point. Like NFL Films, they're not out here, and whether we feel like they are or not, they're not out here to, tear players down. But that's what happened in this scenario is they messed up and they put a video out of Brian Branch and made him look bad in a bad sense. And, especially in today's world when in the NFL, I mean, millions of people see this stuff. And it could affect someone's reputation. And that's essentially what people in Detroit, us, the players that were tweeting out towards the NFL Films, that's what people felt like. People felt like that. Nick P said, I feel like the NFL is going to give Detroit a home-cooked game by the refs, even though that makes it worse. Yeah, I mean, it's just never ending with the refs, man. Or not the refs, with the NFL. You just never know at this point. But let me find this statement here. Louis Riddick also put a statement out. The statement here, this is Colton Pouncey tweeted it out. Shout out Colton. But I'll read it for you guys. NFL, they did put out a statement today. Yeah, it's a statement from the NFL on the deleted tweet. Quote, NFL Films wants all of its shows to have distinct voice and point of view. In the case of NFL Turning Point, that voice and point of view is Louis Riddick's. He spends time every week with the show's producers, watching each segment and going through the script before narrating them. That particular sequence felt different to NFL Films as part of a 9-minute breakdown of the Lions-Chiefs game than it did as a standalone excerpt on social media. On X, it felt overly critical to Brian Branch, so it was taken down. So they essentially admitted that they were wrong, and I want to bring this up too. Louis Riddick put something out. A lot of people going at Louis Riddick. Louis Riddick tweeted out, said, the Detroit Lions organization is one that I have nothing but respect for. Ownership, head coach, GM, players, blah, 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 all that. He said, fast forward to this week, the Turning Point episode that was voiced by me recently that covered the Chiefs-Lions game didn't come across the way it should have. The intent is to collaborate, whatever that word is. Jeez. Say collab, Louis. I need to do all that. As a group document, the events of a game, good and bad. There is never an intent to do a hit piece on anyone or any team. That being said, I can see how the short clip that was posted could be taken as an attempt to cast the Lions or Brian Branch in a calculated, unfavorable manner. I don't want to be a part of that. I will be sure to make certain that anything that has my name attached to it will never again leave room for it to be interpreted that way in the future. Interesting. Okay, we got it, Louis. This is interesting. I don't know. I don't know how people feel about this because I saw it on Twitter. I mean, I've got hundreds of Lions fans or Chiefs fans. People. Nick P said, "Turning Point, interesting." Erica Kirk going to. We don't need to do that. No political. I mean, I guess that's not political, but Eric Lynn. Louis Riddick does not strike me as a malicious person. This seems like a genuine mistake. This is where I'm at, Eric. A lot of people were going at Louis Riddick today, and even after he put the statement out, and people were like, we don't care. I think Louis Riddick has always been a supporter of the Detroit Lions and of what we've built and they've built in Detroit. I don't think Louis Riddick was out here trying to just take down Brian Branch. I think that the people who put these social clips out there, and there is a million people in the NFL, in the NFL Films, and ESPN that have their hands on all of this stuff. I can guarantee you Louis Riddick doesn't know every single social post that goes out in regards to him, in regards to NFL Films, in regards to the NFL account, all of that. So for Louis Riddick to do a full 9-minute video thinking that, hey, this is all the game, not just this little 40, 50-second part of Brian Branch. I think it falls more so on the NFL Films as a whole, and as well as whoever the interns or the social people are there that posted this clip and said, hey, let's take this 30-second clip of Brian Branch and let's put that out there. Because I honestly, and I don't know where people are at with this, I don't mind the fact that Brian Branch, that they put that they made that part about Brian Branch. If you're doing a 10-minute film about that game, which was one, whether we hate it or not, like it was a big game. It was probably one of the bigger games of the year so far. Adding on as well the situation with Jared Goff and the touchdown, all of the reps, and then the Brian Branch thing after. So those are games you want documented, and you want to have the behind the scenes. You want to have those types of things out there. It brings light to how bad the refs are and how they missed that call and what happened. But what I'm going to say about this is, like, for people to go at Louis Riddick at this point, now that it's all came out, I don't think this was a Louis Riddick thing. I think Louis Riddick narrated the whole 10-minute game of the breakdown of the game, the behind the scenes and the mic'd up of the game. And then all of a sudden, someone in that organization, NFL Films, some social person, which I've ran socials for many companies, like some social person, when I was in charge of socials where I was before, we had a team of 6 people. I didn't get to see every post that went out. And there was posts that got put out. Caleb's going to hop on here in a minute. There's posts that get put out when you have a team of 6, 7 people that you don't know. And there are bad edits. There are grammar mistakes. There are things that happen, especially in I couldn't imagine even in bigger organizations. So I don't think this is anything with I'm going to say this. I don't think this is anything with Louis Riddick. I think Louis Riddick just narrated a 10-minute video and a behind-the-scenes thing about the Lions-Chiefs game. And he got put in a weird spot where the NFL Films team clipped a 30-second part about Brian Branch and going at Brian Branch and put it out there on Twitter. And it ended up going, and they tagged Louis Riddick because he was the narrator. And they ended up, so, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like people need to, take a step back on Louis Riddick, man. That man's a ball knower. We like him on our show. And he obviously wasn't the one that was like, hey, I'm going to take this minute clip and post it on this. That had nothing to do with him. Nothing. And if the people out there being like, oh, the Louis Riddick should know. I like the fact that he said, now going forward, I'm going to make sure anything that gets put out about me, I'm going to make sure I know what it is, which he should have been doing that before, but things slip through the crack again. If you're running a social, there's a lot of things that happen. But still, NFL Films, listen, I tweeted out and said they're all cowards. I stand on what I said yesterday. Going forward, what McAfee said about NFL Films, I respect NFL Films. They do a great job of sharing stories in the NFL. They made a mistake on that one. Jomo Lion King said, Boone, so are you telling me he didn't read it before? Read what? He did a 10-minute narration of the game. There was a 30, like, if you watch the 9 minutes of it, that part about Brian Branch is not that big of a deal. That was part of telling the story of the game. The issue was, and this is where Lions fans need to understand, the big issue is they took only that part out of context and posted it on social media. That was the issue. And you can't do that because and when you take that little snippet of it and put it out there, that just goes at Brian Branch's name. That's what that does. As a whole, I don't think the 9-minute video is that bad. It's fine to have that in there. Yeah, what Eric said. He has no control of how the clips are used. Many things can be used out of context when looking at the whole picture. Yeah, listen, like a lot of these guys too, like you got to understand, guys like Louis Riddick, Stephen A. Smith, like they have people clipping and putting their stuff up on their own socials, on First Take socials, on NFL socials, ESPN, blah, 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 blah. They have people that do that for them. And if someone else that's in, that doesn't work for them, that works for ESPN or NFL, if one of those people clip something wrong and put it out there, yeah, it falls back on them, but it's still, they weren't the one that put it out there. He wasn't the one that clipped it and ended up doing that to Brian Branch. And I'm sure as a player, he probably wouldn't have done that from the jump. So, all right, I don't want to talk about, I just talked 10 minutes about the NFL Films, bunch of scumbags from yesterday. But in the future, I like them just in case they want to, if they want me or Caleb in a video, that'd be cool. That'd be sick. That'd be real quick. Sick. All right. Enough of me. Let's bring in the legend. Caleb, welcome to the show. How are we, brother?
Booner Sports. I'm doing fantastic, man. Sweating out a bet right now. Louisville, Miami, the under 49.5 in that one.
Louisville plus 11.5.
Hey, look, that looks fantastic right now. Their first 2 drives were phenomenal, and Carson Beck is stinking up the place. So,
okay,
you're in good shape.
And the Wings are up 1-0 right now.
Yeah,
I also
AFP first goal of his career. Huge,
yeah,
huge for the Wings. Hey, they look good, and
they do.
Shout out our guy Gentry. Me and him, and obviously Jeff as well. I feel like I've sided with Jeff on this one because we're both. I mean, I don't want to say it's almost like a weird dynamic where like Mike acts like he's not a Pistons fan, Jeff acts like he's not a Wings fan. They almost like compete which team's going to be better. But I'm on the Pistons side, and but shout out Gentry.
I did make a statement.
Fantastic.
I made a statement in our group chat the other day when you guys were all going at. I said I'm no longer in this battle of you guys are Wings and you guys are. I'm a Detroit sports fan going forward.
Yes, I'm
out on the picking sides.
Me too. I mean, we're no matter where the teams are at, there's situations I'm going to be fans, but sometimes I know we'll get into it later in the show. It's hard to be a Tigers fan around here, but definitely we're just Detroit sports fans around here. But yeah, the Wings look great.
They do. They look really good. Caleb, do we have anything that you have to work out? By the way, to that hat you're wearing, we went out in Royal Oak one time with your boy.
Yeah.
And he owns that company.
Yes. Shout out my boy.
I said, can I get a hat? Can you send me a hat? I'll wear it on this show. I will represent. And he said, I got you. I just never have gotten the hat.
There was probably a couple drinks involved in that night.
For sure. He's a legend.
But look, my boy's just quick plug real quick. My boy Seth Packin runs a country music podcast, Put Up Perspective. He's I mean, one of my best friends from my childhood, and he does a great job, and he works really hard on it. So if you're a fan of country music, go check out his channel, Put Up Perspective.
Great person too.
Yeah.
He's a great human. It was a good time and good meeting him. I need to get a hat. So we need
I'll make sure you get a hat. I'll make sure you get a hat.
Because I like those types. I like these types of hats. So yeah. I would for sure rock them. Me and you are we good? We good after yesterday?
Okay. I
just want to clear the air.
I think we're good, but I just want to say this about this. Okay.
Just this about this.
Can I do that?
Say that about that.
Why not just a nice job, Caleb? Why not just like, wow, Caleb, that's a sweet hit, man. Jonnu Smith, the first touchdown plus 1,500.
Okay.
Why I send that in the group chat, and man, was I because look, bets like that don't come around often, and you want to celebrate with your friends, and it was a last minute buzzer beater type pick. I put it in maybe 4 minutes before kickoff. It hit. I'm jumping up and down in my living room, and I sent it in the Crunch Time group chat expecting, Caleb, you're the best person ever. That's the greatest hit I've ever seen. You're so awesome. And instead, I got Booner saying, thanks for sending it in the group chat, or must have missed it in the group chat.
What was it, 12-1?
15-1.
15-1. How heartbreaking was it that you hit a 15-1 at, what was it, 9 o'clock? Come 10 o'clock, I essentially cash out and hit 121-1.
Heartbreaking.
No, well, for you to be like,
my boy.
Well, for you to be like, you're like, this is like the greatest hit I've had in so long. Like I'm jumping up and down, and then an hour later, you see your boy hit 121-1. I hit one of the most. And that just made that was one of the most incredible bets I've ever made in my life or hit my life.
That would have been the biggest hit of my life. And look, I'm happy for you.
Okay. You know what? This was the problem. Okay, let me break this down for you, just so you understand the situation at hand. This isn't. It was never. Hey, I thought it was a great hit, but Jeff and me and Jeff had it. We were live on air when this happened. You sent it, and this wasn't just a hey, Booner has an issue with this. This was Jeff also said, hey, this has happened a couple times now in this group chat the last week where people will send plays and then they hit or whatever, don't hit. But then no one will send a play and they'll hit a massive one and then they'll just send it and celebrate in the group chat. And we're all like, oh, cool, like nice. But when it keeps happening, it's like, okay, at what point are we sharing the wealth? Like I always send my plays. And like yesterday I had it. And the reason I knew this happened the way it did and the way it went down is because I was on the phone with Jeff before the show. And I said, hey, Jonnu Smith, anytime touchdown. I bet you didn't know this. And I told him.
Well, I didn't know it because you told Jeff, not me.
Exactly. So hear me out. So when it hit, what did I do? I didn't put it in the group chat because I know I didn't give it out to you boys. So I text Jeff separately while we're on the air, Jonnu Smith anytime. Bang.
Okay.
I think it's like Spenny the other day. I give the example of Spenny the other day. Spenny gives out to the show, people on his show, a Red Wings, or you guys were texting separate, and he gives out a Red Wings play, but he doesn't put it in our main chat. But then after he's like, oh, look. But you didn't. He's flaunting it in front of everyone in our main chat, but he never gave it out in the main chat.
Now listen.
I think you can only hit out your winners in the chat if you gave it out in the chat.
I have two things to say about this. Number one, I'm a superstitious guy. Every time I send a play in the chat, most of the time it loses. We share our Lions bets on Sundays, but most of the time when I send a pick in a chat and when I post a pick on Twitter, it loses. Happens a lot during the Pistons season. Let me say this, and if Spenny, if you're watching, I have a couple choice words for you, my friend, because I know you place those wings parlays every night, and I wanted one. So I texted him, and I said, hey, Spenny, I'm going to need one of those wings parlays. And all he says back to me is, DeBrink it anytime, okay? DeBrink it didn't score.
I took tonight because Gentry gave it out tonight in our group chat, so I took it.
DeBrink it didn't score. I think he's due tonight, though. I think he's going to get one tonight.
Yep.
But then he sends a parlay and he said, sorry, Caleb, this hit. That is the worst.
It is. Listen, but
if you were to text me, if you were to text me separate, say, if you were to say, or not even separate, if you would have texted in the group chat and said, do you have a parlay or do you have a first touchdown on anything, I would have sent it. I wouldn't have kept it a secret.
That's fine. But if you put a first touchdown in and you're like, I'm on Jonnu Smith Thursday Night Football, big deal. Like, hey, boys, I'm on. Like, Klotz, you know who does it and is really good at it? Klotz. If Klotz has a first touchdown score or anytime touchdown score or a parlay, Klotz 100% of the time sends it in the group. 100% of the time. And you know what? Let me give you this example. Me and you, one thing we bond over, me and you are Barstool fans, correct?
Sure. Yeah.
One of the biggest gamblers in the world, Big Cat. What do you think Big Cat would do if one of the people who, Jersey Jerry, hits a bet and then on the side text it to him and be like, look, I just won $20K. He'd be like, why didn't you give me that bet? Why are you texting me your winner without giving me your bet?
But as a gambler, you know that superstitions are real. And when I send them in there, they don't hit.
If you hit it, just we move.
Look, we both hit big yesterday. We can move
and
on.
Yesterday, I wasn't sending my winner. I needed advice from the boys. I want that on record, too.
Yeah, that was a great hit. And that was an all-time great cash out.
127 to 1. That was my greatest cash out of all time.
And it would have been what, 7,500? What was it?
4,500. If I Jalen Warren was at the 2-yard line and he got a touchdown called back. And I came out with about 25% of that. 125 to 1 was what it came out to.
All-time great cash out.
That was one of my greatest moments. All right, we're done with that. Hey, Kuda or whatever the word is. Yeah, we're good. We're locked in now. Let's talk some ball. We're gonna play the Shay interview at 9:00, Caleb. So we'll just talk some ball. The next two segments. I haven't actually talked to you, and I know a lot of people might be tired of it. So we'll do it to start, and then 8:45 we'll talk about the Bucs game more often, or get into it a little bit more. What are your thoughts, Caleb? Because I haven't heard your side of the story. Besides maybe a little bit in our group chats. Let's start with the Jared Goff touchdown, called back touchdown, and the whole ref situation, because you called me the other night and said, can you break this down for me? And I broke it down. I didn't get your opinion. I just was able to tell you what happened. I didn't get how you felt about it. Did you feel some type of ways? For me, it's just like the NFL, very scummy. That's what this feels like. It has nothing to do with the Lions, in my opinion, or the Chiefs. I think it was just like, this is a scummy move from the NFL. I don't think the Lions would have won the game either. Yeah. Just NFL, weird move.
Definitely fishy. And one thing, especially in, the line of work we're in, one thing you don't want to do is make a one-day story, a week story. And there's a reason that people are still talking about it. It's because this is not just a one-day story. This is a big deal. I mean, this is the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that a lot of people talk about, games are rigged their way and everything. The NFL loves Pat Mahomes. They love the Kelsey, Taylor Swift stuff. They just want to see the Chiefs win. There was definitely some fishy things that went on with that Jared Goff touchdown. A lot of it could have been, and I've heard a few opinions. A lot of it could have been just maybe miscommunication. Maybe Dan Dan Campbell, because we know he came out and said that New York told him that they made the call. Maybe it was miscommunication between them. Maybe Dan misunderstood what they said. But yeah, I mean, definitely some fishy shit going on. And back to betting real quick, Boone. I mean, there was a bet out there, $9,000, I believe it was, on Jared Goff first touchdown. That paid like $450,000. And Vegas always wins in the NFL. Make sure Vegas wins most of the time. So that might have had something to do with it. And to that too, and Doc said this yesterday, that game starting 7-0, who knows what could have happened the rest of the game?
Yeah.
It's difficult to say because the Lions didn't play well the rest of the game, and they didn't play well enough to win. But who knows what that game looks like if it starts off 7-0. But yeah, Boone, just very fishy. And like I said, there's a reason that this is still getting talked about. A week after it happened, because it's a big deal. It's a scandal.
Yeah, I do think, to be honest, and I told the doc this when it happened. My issue was, and I had a couple like tweets where there was a lot of Chiefs fans in there, and their arguments like you still lost the game, you lost by dude, remove that, because I think the 7-0, that's fine. I think the Lions would have lost that game no matter what. They played so bad. I think they were never going to put themselves in a position to win that game, even if they started up 7-0. So for me, I took all of that away, and I just like you said, scandal, but like the NFL, you just have to have some sort of integrity. And as soon as you lose a little bit of it, people really start to question it. And I told Jeff, like, all they had to do, if I'm being honest, and it would have made me feel at ease, you have one or two options. One, you just tell us, hey, we called in, that's on us. We weren't supposed to. We made a mistake. Just like a ref sometimes makes mistakes, just like coaches do, players, fans. We made a mistake. We weren't supposed to. That's on us. We will. Or two, come out and make a statement and be like, hey, we did not call down. Like, you just have to clear up the air for not just the fan base, but you have to clear up the air for the NFL fans and as a whole. Because, you can't have this situation. There's two people put money on these games. They're like you said, like, someone had that much money on a Jared Goff anytime touchdown.
Yeah. It's not even like you bring up like integrity, like have some accountability as well. Like, come out with a statement, at least, even if you're just lying to our faces again, at least say something, make a statement about what went down, because this is a big deal, not just for Lions fans, but for fans of the NFL, because that was definitely fishy. And somebody said in the chat, that flag was thrown like a minute and a half after that touchdown happened. So definitely some shady shit went on with that. And I mean, that really sucks for the guy that had $9,500 on Jared Goff for first touchdown.
Yeah.
I would be sick to my stomach, because for a good minute there, they were about to go to commercial. I mean,
it is.
For
a
minute there, it was a touchdown.
What's crazy about that whole thing as well is my bad. I'm over here trying to get this Wings game on. What's crazy though is they have the players go back. Obviously, like Amon-Ra. I don't know if you saw his podcast. Amon-Ra was like, we went back to the bench and we're sitting there, and then all of a sudden the flag comes out, and then the play clock starts. Boom! As soon as they make the decision, play clock starts, and they're on the bench, and Dan's like, hey, we're going for it. Like, we're going for it. They got to come all the way off from the bench, the whole offense, get their helmets back, get everything, and get back on the field. And then guess what the refs do? They give them a delay of game instead of restarting the play clock. And it's like, all right, like, if you're going to do that and make a decision, and Jeff actually brought up a good point. I think it was Justin Rogers or Will Birchfield. There is technically two upstairs. There's the upstairs of the refs in the building. So, like, the refs on the field also have refs that are in a box upstairs that also can help. And that has nothing to do with the NFL in New York. And then there's the upstairs of the NFL in New York calling in and saying, hey, fix this. They could have been the refs upstairs in the building, right? It could have been part of the crew that helped him out. But either way, if that happens, you can't give them a penalty right after that and be like, delay of game.
No, yeah, if you're going to call that, you have to call it immediately. But kind of the fact of the matter is, like, and there is a part of me, like I said, that if that game starts 7-0, who knows what happens after that. But the rest of that game, just the Lions didn't play well enough to win. Whether it was the refs' fault or not, they just didn't play well enough. And I mean, I'm praying for a big bounce back game from them this Monday in a big spot, in a huge spot.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. Now with the Brian Branch stuff, what thoughts on that suspension? I thought straightforward, he should have got suspended. And I know a lot of people, there was people that wanted Juju suspended as well. I just think what Brian Branch said at the end, I've said it a million times, just walk away. I get it, emotions, I get all of that. Got to be able to walk away in those moments, control and leave. And I understand there was a lot leading up to it, so you don't, it happens. But I texted our group with Easy and them, and I just said, listen, dude, like, if anyone would have done that in the NFL, what Branch did, grab him by his or hit his face mask, and then, whether Juju comes at you, rips you down, hits you, like gives him a bloody nose on national television post game, you're getting suspended no matter what.
Yeah.
But did you have any? I've never got your thoughts on that. I didn't even hear that from you.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. I love Brian Branch. One of my favorite Lions. He's one of our most important players, and for that reason, he can't be going up to a player after the game and hitting them, knowing what his consequences might be. Fact of the matter is, for Brian Branch is he hurt his team. Now he's not able to play Monday night, and he knew damn well. I know adrenaline is high. It's right after the game. He felt some type of way. You just got your ass beat. Sunday Night Football. There's a couple dirty plays against you, but you can't go to the other team and slap a player after the game. And a couple people made this comment, which I agree with. We saw it with Tart on the Chargers when he hit Kelsey during the game. I mean, he just might have got a fine or something. If Branch did that during the game, there might have been a different outcome. He might have not, gotten suspended. But the fact that he went after the whistle, after Kansas City was in victory formation, walked up to Juju Smith-Schuster and hit him, that's just unacceptable. It's
tough,
just unacceptable. And like I said, I love Brian Branch, but he put his team in a bad spot. It's a bad look. The fact that Dan Campbell had to go apologize to Andy Reid, a guy that he probably looks up to, Andy Reid being one of the best coaches in NFL history, and that's an embarrassing thing Dan had to do, to go up to Andy Reid and apologize because one of his players did something so unsportsmanlike. But yeah, it sucks. I know Branch is going to learn from it, and I know when he comes back from this suspension, he's gonna be a different animal. And just another funny thing that happened with this is, and I tweeted it out, Jordy Nelson being his hearing his what's it called? Help me out here, Boone. His appeal
officer.
Appeal.
Yeah.
How coincidental is that?
Yeah, listen, okay.
He's not doing it. I mean, look, I know they didn't do that on purpose, and I know his suspension wasn't going to get up, or wasn't going to.
Never was, yeah.
It was never, yeah.
Can I make a statement? I want to make a statement.
Yes. I'd love to hear it.
There might be a world. Maybe we're all getting too soft. I think us as Lions fans, I'm not saying people in the generals in the world. I'm saying in the Lions, we might be getting a little too soft. And I've been out there tweeting and sticking up for the NFL and calling down from New York. I think that's fair. Everything that's happening now in the Lions world, it's just like, woe is me for Lions fans. Like today, and I was watching the Heavy, shout out Easy and them, like there was something that got put out to teams about players punching the balls out and just saying, make sure you try and go for balls. And they use Jack Campbell as an example. I'm okay with that. Jack's going after balls. If they need him to, I would rather them send it and be like, hey, just so you know, just so he doesn't get a penalty or something. But then everyone's like, oh, Lions being made example of again. Jack Campbell, oh, they hate us. Shut up. Like, what are we like? Are we going to cry about every single thing that gets sent or said about the Lions? We are like, don't turn in. Like, can we please not turn into Bears fans? Can we please not turn into like Commanders fans? Packers fans, like fan bases that we have dealt with in the past that we have to deal with, and like Chiefs fans, like, can we not have to turn into them? Can we please not do that? And right now, like this week with the Branch stuff, with the NFL stuff, and then the touchdown called back, like I think the Branch stuff, like them putting that video out is ridiculous, first of all. So, okay. The NFL potentially calling down and changing the play, that's ridiculous. Okay, those are two things. But I'm seeing like every little thing just get like oh, they sent a video about Jack Campbell. Why did they do like, dude, like, do you just want them to leave you alone forever? Like, it's going to happen.
Yeah. Let me say this, and to every Lions fan, and I think Lions fans know this to an extent. The NFL loves the Lions. They love the story of the Lions. They want that team to be en route to a Super Bowl. They love the Lions. So the Branch situation, I don't know if they were necessarily trying to make an example out of Brian Branch himself, but they were trying to make an example of you can't do that because they're really preaching sportsmanship and stuff. So I don't think that was a direct shot at the Detroit Lions. The Louis Riddick stuff, Boone, me and you have, been talking on the radio. I've been doing it for like a couple years. You've been doing it for a long time. We've had clips come out of us that were kind of out of context, and there was more to the clip that didn't get posted. That might be that situation. I don't think Louis Riddick was directly going at the Detroit Lions. The whole thing with this is, and Booner, I think you're right. Like, as Lions fans, we shouldn't play victim because, trust me, the NFL wants us to be good. The storyline is too good. They want a guy like Jared Goff and Dan Campbell to hold up that Lombardi trophy, even though sometimes it doesn't seem like it. They do. They do.
See, like this, like John Hughes, it implies that players are trying to. Oh, no, it's not coming up. All right. John Hughes says it implies that players are trying to punch people and not the football. Okay. Like the NFL's sending out something to remind the people, like, this is a rule. Be careful before you get a flag for it in a game. Why is it always like, oh my gosh, here they go? Like, to me, just like when people whine about that stuff, it's like, all right, you sound like a kid. Like why am I getting in trouble? Like, it's like when you discipline a kid and they're like, why do you keep yelling at me? Why do I keep getting in trouble for this and he's not? Like, shut up. That's why I'll tell a kid, like, shut up, like, grow up, like, learn, like, you're doing something bad. Like, do you want people to like start, like, we don't want them to treat us differently, right? We want them to like, then it's on all terms. And it's just like every single little thing that they do, we can't nitpick. Or when something actually serious, like this called back touchdown, or something actually where it's like, hey, we need the NFL's help, or we actually have a good point to make. Like now at this point, if you keep doing this with every single thing that happens now, you turn into the boy who cried wolf and no one wants to listen to you and you become an annoying fan base. That's how I look at it. Yeah. And I've been on Twitter active about some of this stuff. But every single, like, dude, everything, it's just like a little... This is ridiculous. Like it's a little much in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's not
like
I said. Sometimes it does feel like it, because we are fans, and what's so awesome about the Lions fan base is that we are one of the most passionate fan bases. But there's not a target on the Lions' back. There's not. It's just a couple things that happened last week that all happened so quick and at once where it might feel that way. But just from my perspective, and obviously fans have the right to, have their own opinion, but from my perspective, there's no target on the Lions' back. There's not. B's here. Yeah, you guys have the nerve to call us crybabies. No, like it actually gets to a point to where, like, there was two things that happened this week that were legit you could be mad about. I've seen Lions fans complain about 15 different things because of like outside of this. And it's just like, okay, let's stop. Let's reel it back. Don't turn into these fan bases. We complain about these fan bases. Let's not turn into one of them. Go ahead, Caleb. Sorry. No, I mean, I think I don't want to call the fans crybabies. I don't think
I didn't say crybabies, but it's
we're not crybabies.
Take a step back here.
And the things you're saying, that I do that a lot because it is frustrating sometimes when like a lot of that stuff happens. But
B said, "No, you stop. You stop, Bees." Those are probably like a hobby buyer's burner. It looks like
Bees 9 could be. Bees 9. Dude. Let us know if you're a hobby buyer's burner.
Might
There's
be.
definitely a possibility for that.
Let me pull this up too real quick, just because we're going to talk about it here before we play the Stevie Che interview. Let me pull up Lions injury report for today. I told people yesterday, obviously, typically today we know who's playing in the game and who's not. But Monday night game, so everything's pushed back today. Today for practice, if you guys see her, Kirby Joseph again, Caleb. no practice back-to-back days. My guess, Kirby's out. That's just a guess.
Yeah.
He's out. Avante Maddox, no practice back-to-back days. Guessing he's out. Sione Vaki, same thing. Terrion Arnold, this is breaking news today, actually, because Terrion has not practiced. Was supposed to be a couple weeks. He was back at practice today. Limited, but he was back. So I feel like that's a positive sign heading into this week. Taylor Decker, both limited practices. DJ Reader, he's back at practice. That's a big one. Zach Cunningham and Alim McNeill. Alim McNeill being full practice back-to-back days, Caleb, might be one of the greatest things to see of all time. I'm fired up to see Alim.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a lean back, man, you get more pressure from the inside. That just helps guys like Aiden Hutchinson out. Getting pressure from the interior, especially against a guy like Baker Mayfield, who likes to play around in the pocket a little bit. So having a guy like Alim bring pressure from the interior is going to be huge. And, Taylor Decker, that's a guy I want to see get back on the field. 2 limited practices in a row. We'll see with that. A fully healthy Detroit Lions offensive line. It's one of the best offensive lines in the league. And that left tackle position, it was Manu the first week, and he really struggled. Skipper was all right last game, but they're no Taylor Decker. And, Boone, also. We saw the Terrion Arnold videos today at practice. That's a good sign. And we have a lot to say, or at least I don't want to speak for Boone. I have a lot to say about Terrion Arnold. He's frustrating sometimes, but I'll say this. He's better than a lot of those guys that were trotting out there in the secondary. So, hopefully this practice report gets cleaned up a little bit, and we see guys like, Taylor Decker and Terrion Arnold being ready for week 1. But I think you're right, or for Monday night. But I think you're right, Kirby Joseph. 2 no practices in a row is tough. Not looking great.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's out. If I was Dan and them, I would just sit him. I would just give him some time. It's crazy to think, and it's a positive. But the fact that the Lions team is essentially, you have 5, starters in the secondary, you just have Amik. That's it. DJ Reed, Terrion out potentially. Terrion potentially, but most likely maybe not playing. And then potentially Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph both out. So you're playing essentially 5 DBs and you have 1 starter. That's, especially versus the Bucs, versus the MVP candidate right now, the leader. That's tough.
Well, there's some injuries on their side too with their receivers. So
yeah, here, let me
I don't want to say it evens out because Baker Mayfield is incredible.
Kind of does though. Kind of does.
But Emeka, 2 no practices in a row.
Yeah, Levante David's out, no practices. I don't know what's going on with Levante David. I should have asked Shay about this yesterday. I didn't. But Emeka, yeah, I think Emeka's going to be out. This is one too, Caleb. Mike Evans was limited to no. So I don't know. He was expected to kind of play. He didn't practice today. Chris Godwin probably out. Luke Haggard, guessing out. Bucky Irvin is going to be out. Josh Williams probably out. Riley Dixon, their punter. That's a big loss, eh? That's a tough one.
It's all hands on deck, and when you don't have your punter.
That's tough. On the road, you can't pin us inside the 20. That's an issue.
Mike Evans, Boone, I believe, and the heavies were talking about it today. Shout out the heavyweights, easy in the chat right now. I believe Mike Evans, he doesn't practice on Fridays every week. I believe. I think that's what he's been doing the past couple of years, just because, he's a veteran now. He can
but wouldn't tomorrow technically be their Friday?
It's a good question.
Because they typically Friday is, see what I'm saying?
So tomorrow's injury report's going to be
that's the one
important. But if the Lions are shorthanded in the secondary, but they don't have to go up against guys like Egbuka and Godwin and Evans. That's huge for the Lions. They're going to catch a huge break. Hopefully, obviously we're not rooting for injuries. We want guys to play, but with how shorthanded the Lions secondary is right now.
Yeah. Are you? Let's do this because I wanted to get you from you. Let's do this. I don't know if you prepared anything. Offense and defense. What is one thing on each side of the ball that you think the Lions have to do on Sunday to win this game?
Honestly, it's kind of both for the same. And I think a big thing for the Lions is going to be third downs on both sides of the ball, On third down, if you on offense, if you're going to get in those situations where you're 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, you have to execute and find a way to get to the sticks. You have playmakers to do it in Sam Laporta and Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Gibbs, all those guys. You have the tools to do it. So you just got to win on third downs on offense. And that's the same for the defense. Baker Mayfield is a phenomenal quarterback, and he's going to make plays in those 3rd and longs. He will. So the secondary is going to have to stay sticky, and we're going to have to get to Baker Mayfield on those third downs. So, Boone, that's really it for me, is third downs on both sides of the ball.
Third down. Win third down.
Win third down. It's the name of the game.
How many sacks does Hutch have on Sunday?
I think Hutch – most likely he'll be. I mean, last time he played, he had 4.5. Last time he played the Bucs.
Yeah.
He'll most likely be matched up against Wirfs.
Not the whole time, though.
Not the whole game.
He's gonna move around.
Give me. Man, give me 1.5 for Hutch. Give me 1.5. Brayden Hutchinson.
I like that. I said yesterday, I think I'm going to take a bet straight up. AQM one sack. It's probably like
he got one last week. What is he at 4 now?
Yeah, and their right tackle. And in a couple minutes here when we play this interview, we talked about that right tackle there that just last year got destroyed by Hutch. And I think they also have a guy. I think he might have been on the injury report. I can't remember who's going to be at right tackle come Monday night, but it feels like a favorable matchup for Hutch, and as well as if AQM gets moved over to that side, that he's going to be able to take a little bit of an advantage. He's going to have a couple one-on-ones, you would think, at some point on Monday night.
Yeah, so he's got to start taking advantage of them. You said he's plus 150?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm guessing that's what the line. I can check real quick. Let me see if there's even a line there. I don't think there's going to be a defensive line out just yet, but usually AQM's around that. Hutch is always what's crazy. Hutch is like now minus like 200.
Yeah,
to get a sack.
I mean, he's had one every game this year.
Yeah,
man. I know Alim would probably be on some sort of a snap count, I'm assuming. But man, if we could see an Alim McNeill sack.
Oh, see, I would love to see that. I don't know the snap count he's going to be on, but I think that this year, once he gets healthy, a lot of people always harp on this, and I know it's something where it's kind of the fan base thing, but I talked about it all the time with Alim. The fact that he's back, but he's paid as a top 3 defensive tackle in the NFL.
Yeah.
I would like to see that production, and then not even just that production. I would like to see top 10 production. And I'm not saying like he's a great in the run game. He's elite in the run game, but the sacks, like at some point, it has to come with it. Like you're on the field with Aiden Hutchinson, you're going to be on the field with DJ Reader and Ty Leak and AQM, and the linebackers going at the quarterback that you have. You would think, I know he's not playing a full season, but you have to get some production when it comes to getting to the quarterback from Alim. That's why you paid him that much. Like other defensive tackles that get paid that much will go get you 6 to 8, almost 10 in a year. And like, I hate the argument. I hate it so much when people are like, that's not Alim McNeill's game. Then like, what is he? He's not a nose tackle. Like, and he's a run stopper. Yeah. But he's someone that needs to get to the quarterback as well. He does. Like, that should be part of his game. And I'm not saying he has to do it 12 plus sacks like an Aiden Hutchinson, but when your career high is 4.5 and you get paid top 3 at that position, which part of that position is to get to the quarterback, then that's an issue. So that's something in the next couple weeks as Alim gets healthier. I would hope that, we get 4 weeks into this thing and say, hey, Alim has 2.5. Oh, we get 6-7 weeks into hey, he has 5 or 6. Oh, like that's my expectations of Alim.
Yeah, I think you're right for having those expectations. Like you said, he's a top 3 paid defensive tackle in football, and there's nothing better. There's not a better position in football, in my opinion. I love watching 3 techniques get to the quarterback. There's nothing better, and Alim McNeill is very capable of doing that. However, what Alim McNeill does outside of rushing the quarterback as well is so impactful on the game. Like his ability to stop the run, his ability to eat up double teams so Hutch can be free on a one-on-one. So not only did they pay him for that sack number that can come, it's everything else too. But Boone, you are right there. I think, we'll say next year when he's 100% fully healthy, I want to see a good sack number up there for Alim McNeill. But even if he's not getting to the quarterback, he's being productive one way.
Like
or another.
Weezy D, Jalen Carter, you can't say Jalen Carter and Alim McNeill are on the same level. Jalen Carter was a wrecking crew in the middle and opening it up for everyone else. Like Alim does that. I just think it's more so the consistency. That's what I look at. And it's like he has these spurts. Do you know what I'm saying, Caleb? Like he has these spurts. Like you saw him that one game, I think it was Dallas, where he had like 2 sacks. Like he gets these spurts where he goes off. But it's just like more so. It's like, dude, if you did that consistency and consistently, then at that point, that's when it's like, hey, that's why Brad paid you top 3 money at your position, because of the projection. He didn't pay it based off of what you did. He's paying you that money off of the projection. And I don't think some fans realize that. And some fans, it's like, hey, like you don't want him just to get 4.5 every year. You want him to be elite in the run game, but also wreak havoc in the middle. Like wreak havoc. You go out there and do that. And Weezy D, he got hurt. Thank you. Like this is like Weezy D. Like this is why Weezy D sometimes like no offense, Weezy D. But like this is part of it too. He gets hurt every year.
Yeah, but
that's
he tore
part
his
of it.
ACL. He didn't like.
He had a knee injury the year before.
Not with like an ankle sprain. Like
I know, but the year before he had a knee injury, and it's like he keeps getting hurt. Part of it's staying healthy and producing. If you get Caleb, if I paid you Pat McAfee money and you're showing up to the show and half of the week you're sick, or half of the football season you're sick, and you're like, hey, I have pneumonia, I have this. It's like, hey, dude, I'm paying you so much money.
But you can't help that stuff.
But it's like, okay, but I'm still paying you money, and it's like, hey,
I know.
But at the end of the season, if that happens to you for 2 seasons, no, hold on. If for 2 seasons, if you're just constantly sick and missing live shows for half of the year, and I'm paying you top 3 money in the media market, I'm going to be like, hey, bud, like you're not putting you're putting 10% of the numbers up. I'm paying you money to be one of the best media personalities in the country, and you're not even doing half of that. And also you're missing half of the shows. Like I'm going to have to go find someone else who's going to do that for me and can do it for the full season. Like I need that. It's the same thing. I love Alim. I love Alim.
Look, I know. And I can, well, I don't want to guarantee you, but I have a good feeling that the conversations with Brad and Dan and Shep with Alim are not like that. I guarantee they're like, hey man, let's get you healthy, let's get you rolling. They're not saying they're not saying, hey, you get hurt every year, man. You're not really living up to your
obviously
contract. I'm not really sure.
As someone in the media who covers the team and talks about him, when you get paid a certain amount of money, the expectations come with it and they go up. For Alim, expectations are there and they go up. I love Alim. When Alim's playing at his best, he's a top 10 defensive tackle in the NFL. Bar none. Hands down. He is. We all know that. But he's not always playing as a top 10 defensive tackle in the NFL. But he gets paid as a top 3. You know this. I'm not saying anything crazy.
No, I know.
And it gets to a point where it's like, that's all I'm saying is he comes back. Week 7? He's coming back week 7. Week 7 to week 17, prove it.
Which is way earlier than we thought.
Don't care. That's your job. If you get here earlier, you don't get a golden star.
Probably worked his ass off to get back.
For sure. Good. He gets paid.
It's not
$20 million to do that.
Listen, I know. Listen, my point is, it's not his fault. He tore his fucking ACL. That's not his fault.
No, it's not. But you're giving him a gold star for getting back quick. Good. That's your job.
I believe the sack numbers are going to come for Alim McNeill, and I think they're going to come this year. And I think they're going to come this year.
I hope so.
But even when and it's the same thing for Aiden Hutchinson. When he's not getting to the quarterback, he's still impacting the game in positive ways, whether it's the run game, whether it's eating up double teams to free up other guys in the defensive line. Alim McNeill, and people are talking about it in the chat. I don't think he's better than Jalen Carter. I think Jalen Carter's a stud.
There's no chance, dude. You would take Jalen Carter every day over Jalen.
But Alim McNeill is a really damn good player. I do see where you're coming from to an extent, Booner, but I don't think you could fault him for being injured.
Caleb.
And I know it's frustrating because you want to see a guy you paid like that be on the field. But I mean, he tore and go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, I'm not faulting him for his injury at all. Like, and this is where it's like you can't fault him. And this is like, as a organization and as a fan, like you have to be able to separate like liking a guy and actually like moving forward. I'm not saying move. I think Alim's going to be very good for this team. I have said it all along. You have to pay 1 million guys on this football team, right? 1 million. Brian Branch is coming up. JMO just got paid. Jack Campbell, Jameer. Like there are Sam Laporta. There's so many guys you have to pay. You chose to pay Alim McNeill. Brad chose to pay Alim McNeill. And it wasn't a small amount. He paid him as a top 3 defensive tackle in the NFL. He's one of the highest paid defensive tackles there. And it's like over $20 million. It's a lot of money. This isn't chump change. He got a contract that you could have gave to Sam Laporta, Brant, all of that. My point is I believe Alim's going to end up being fine and improving himself. My point has nothing to do with injuries or anything. It's when he's out there this year, he has 10 weeks. You have to go out there and play like a top 10 minimum defensive tackle in the NFL because you paid him top 3 money. And if he doesn't do that, he is proving that you should have given that money from him and given it to Sam Laporta, or you should have taken the money from him and given it to Brian Branch, or him and Jack Campbell, because those guys are playing as top 5 players in their position groups right now. But he is not, and he gets paid top 5 money.
Do you agree with me, though, Boone? Even when he's not getting to the quarterback, he's having a very positive impact on that.
Yes, he has impacts, but like to be a top 5 defensive tackle in the NFL, you just can't be like, hey, half of my game's good. You need the whole package. Like you have to be a great, like especially in his position. If he was a nose tackle, just a run stopper, okay. No, like it's a conversation that Jeff and I have all the time with Ty Lake. Ty Lake's like bread and butter isn't to go to get to the quarterback. Like he gets pressure and he does that. But if you're going to invest in Ty Lake as a first-round draft pick, you expect him to get better as an edge or a pass rusher, correct? Like getting to the quarterback at some point in year 2, year 3, getting 3, 4, 5 sacks. Like that's the expectation. It's like that with Alim, but on a different level because he's not just. It's not like this guy's out here first-round pick and he's a rookie. He's making $20 million. He's the 3rd highest paid defensive tackle in the NFL, dude. Like there's no, like you don't have rookie expectations. Like you have expectations of like you have to produce at a top 3 defensive tackle level.
And
you see what I'm saying? I get your point.
I see your point too. But coming off a knee injury, a torn ACL.
Yeah, I'll give him a little time. Okay. But at some point, that's all. You get paid a lot of money.
Can I ask for a little time? Can I ask for a little time for Alim McNeill?
I want you to go do what you got to do.
No. Can I ask for a little time?
I thought you wanted to have like a one-on-one with Alim McNeill.
Can I ask for like a week or two? Like for him to get tuned up?
Yeah, that's fine. By the way, all these people in the chat be like, Booner, you're delusional. I had this take probably 2 months ago. Every single person in the chat was like, I'm on your side, Booner. This is how fast people just like you just never know. It depends on the day you catch the fan base and people who watch us. That's all it is. Because like 90% of people were on my side 2 months ago when we realized, hey, we don't have a lot of money. Oh, why did we give Alim this contract? Everyone was like, maybe we overpaid for this guy. Just a thought.
Just a thought. You said it. Just a thought.
It was just a thought.
We'll see how things roll out. I'm excited to see him get back between the white lines, though, Boone.
Weezy said, no time for Alim, 5 sacks in 5 weeks. Imagine if he did. I would love if he did, man. I think Alim's going to be really good. Honestly, there's like, I don't want people to take this out of context and acting like I don't want him to be good or I don't think he will. I think he will. I really want to see it. That's all. That's all it is. Austin. McNeill clogs up the run, and that doesn't show up in the stats. Austin, if you look to like rewind a little bit, anyone here who, because I've seen like 10 comments, people say this, rewind a little bit before you rewind, or no, when you do rewind, press pause, run to your bathroom, grab those things that clean out your ears, clean your ears out, take those out, throw them away. Hold on.
Now Boone's being mean. I'm not here for this.
Hold on. Press play, and then listen to me literally say Alim's one of the best run stoppers in the NFL. Would just like to see him get to the quarterback a little bit more. And then you can press play. Then you can go back live because we have a great interview coming up here right now. Actually, going to bring the interview up. We have it's about a 15-minute interview, and then when we come back, Caleb and I are going to do pick 'em. We're going to get into some Tigers talk. We're going to talk a little bit more Lions. We're going to do our Lions score predictions. We do have one of my good friends though in the industry here, absolute legend, Stephen Shay. Barstool Sports. He does a lot of things. I'll do his intro here. You'll see his intro. This is pre-recorded, by the way. I want people to be like, he's coming on live. Jeff Iafrate isn't just randomly hopping into the show. Jeff Iafrate was on for the interview last night. But we talked Lions, Bucks, break that whole game down. He actually gives a lot of good stuff on their defense, on their OC, and then the guys that are out and the new wide receivers that are in. Talks a lot about that. So here's the interview. We'll see you guys in about 15 minutes. All right, let's welcome on now special guest of Crunch Time Sports. I think it's his third time on the show now, if I remember correctly. I've got a whole list here. Shay, the Yak, Trust the Data, Quick Picks, Wake Up Barstool on FS1 now, which last year was not doing that. That's Big Time Fantasy Football Factory. Stephen Shay, Barstool Sports. How are we doing, Shay? Appreciate you hopping on the show today.
Of course. Nice to be with you boys. It feels like the Bucks and Lions are just on a crash course every year, and Monday night should be fun.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today. This is like the third straight year we've had you on the show because of this matchup. And then I started thinking, I was like, I think we might end up getting this matchup in the playoffs again, and it might be an NFC Championship game. And I'm kind of fired up about that. But how you feel about the matchup in the Bucks kind of season so far, heading into this weekend?
You know what? I'm a big rule follower, and I'm just really happy to see Brian Branch get the justice deserved. That ugly punch to end last game. You know, I was locked in on week 6. I was just focusing on that. You know, Chiefs Lions, huge matchup. And as soon as I saw it, I said, you know, that guy, bad guy. Whoever they're playing next week, he shouldn't be playing. That should be illegal. And I'm glad the NFLPA, I think it was John Runyon who heard the case, former Packer, former Eagle, and his kid's a Packer, right?
It could be, yeah.
And then Jordy Nelson handling the appeal. Like, what are we doing here?
Yes.
You know, what are we doing?
Yes.
Okay, Jay, real quick, off the record, Bucks lines aside, Juju Smith is the worst, no?
As an owner of Walton Goggins goggle glasses, I know how to make slick-looking goggle/glasses. But I have
What do you think? I mean, do you see the block, the hit in the back? I mean, you might like Juju. The hit in the back was. I'm not saying anyone should ever do what Brian Branch should after the game.
Over, once it's victory formation, it's game over.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair.
I am a Brian Branch fan whenever he's not playing my team, so I respect his game. You know, the green mouthpiece in the helmet. I like it. Good player, instinctive, tough. But hey, gotta follow the rules. I wish he was playing. I really wish he was, but. You know, you got to follow the rules. Just a certain code you got to stick to, and you broke it.
Yeah, well, they'll probably have you, Jay, at wide receiver on Monday night. So, can we talk about that wide receiver core? What's going on over there, Jay? Because it seems like
Lions, future Hall of Famer Mike Evans is going to be starting. So, look forward to that. He will be coming back.
Mike Evans.
It seems
notoriously kills us.
It seems like Baker's kind of entered this tier of quarterback where it does not matter who's lining up at wide receiver. I mean, he's throwing dots to guys where I have to Google like mid-game, like who the hell is this guy? You know, he's catching Cameron. Who's the guy? Cameron?
Cam Johnson, undrafted guy. He's has not had much of a role on the team. He was on the team last year. Wasn't very effective. Had not really gotten snaps at receiver this year, or any real production. And then, he steps in when Tez Johnson needs a blow and goes in and scores a touchdown immediately. So he's a good guy. He's a kick returner, punt returner, and he can change the game. But, you're not going to be seeing him on the opposing scouting report and being like, ooh, Cam Johnson. Like he's a fine punt returner and kick returner.
Is there any concern? Is there any concern for you with the wide receiver core rolling in the game with Mike Evans against the secondary?
So Tez Johnson has been pretty good. I thought last week he was a little bit erratic, but he made that incredible catch for the touchdown. He's a guy that he's the skinniest player in the league. He's about 155 pounds, or he's listed at that. Baker made a joke that he was 142 pounds in the press conference last week. So he's very light. He makes Tutu Atwell look like a sumo wrestler. He's very, very skinny, but he is fast. And on the fast turf in Detroit, we could see some fireworks. But I would expect a lot of snaps from him. Obviously, Mike Evans is coming back. Sterling Shepard has been pretty good this year. He had, in my opinion, he hadn't been a very good receiver for us in the past. He's been really good this year out of the slot. And then, we're going to see some Cam Johnson. We're going to see some Ryan Miller. Kate on and the tight ends could get involved, and Payne Durham and such. So I think the ball is going to get spread around, but I would be surprised if Evans is not, I don't want to say on a pitch count, but I don't think he's going to play his normal full workload.
Do you think on your guys' offense, I was to say this, like on both offenses, we all on our show here, both Jeff and I have Baker right now as the MVP. I think everyone in the NFL should. it feels like, and I know Jared Goff isn't at that level right now with Baker in the MVP conversation. It feels like a Monday Night Football matchup, prime time, that there's a chance coming out of this game, the quarterback that puts the numbers up and wins the game could be in that conversation to lead it. Do you think that's like, especially with Jared Goff? I know Baker said incredible. Do you think that's the same? That's how we're looking at this Monday night matchup. It's like an MVP bowl, which is crazy to think Baker and Goff is in it.
To be honest, I hadn't thought about that. I mean, we're in week 7 talking about MVPs. I would think the odds don't have them as that. I know Mahomes is the favorite, but at 3-3, like you can't give it. They're obviously projecting the Chiefs are going to go on to win, 12, 13 games. Yeah, I think it's going to come down to records and, the best quarterback with a team that does the most with, probably a top 4 seed, you'd think. So I think Baker would be my pick for MVP. Like, objectively, I think he has been the most important guy to the team. Just the injuries at receivers, offensive line, et cetera. Emeka Egbuka's been great, but you can't point to him, even exiting last game as being like he's the reason because Baker's the guy throwing the ball. Yeah, Josh Allen certainly a candidate to repeat, but they've kind of stumbled the past 2 weeks. So Goff, certainly, if they continue on this upward trajectory and they win the North and, they're a dominant team like, in prior years, certainly could be in that discussion. I wouldn't put him there yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's, in the final 5 or so.
Yeah, another player that, you talk about Brian Branch, and Buccaneers fans are probably excited he's not playing, of course, but they're going to have 97. Aiden Hutchinson had 4.5 sacks last year, Shay. All right, so this guy, he's going to be fired up. He's the defensive player of the year favorite right now in Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, so last year he was matched up against Justin School. Luke Gedeke missed that game as well, and he just dominated him. Now, the guy they have, Justin School, actually left to Minnesota to play left tackle to start the season with Darisaw out. The guy they have in place from Charlie Heck is not as good as Justin School. Gave up 4.5 sacks to Aiden Hutchinson last year. I have a feeling they're going to have a little bit better of a game plan. They're probably going to be chipping a lot. And I think they're going to give him a little bit more help because Hutchinson in last year's matchup was just one-on-one far too frequently against a backup substitute right tackle. What does play to the Lions' advantage is your new defensive line coach, Casey Rogers, because he'd been with Todd Bowles in the Bucs for a long time. So I do think they're going to have a little bit of intel. Todd Bowles was asked about that today in his presser, and he said, if that gives the Lions an advantage, and he said, I would think in team meetings that Casey Rogers is singing like a birdie with everything that we're going to do. So I think that, obviously there's familiarity between these two teams, having played multiple times over the past few years, including the playoffs. So I would think that gives you guys a little bit of an advantage in that category. So I think it should be a good game. Hopefully we see some fireworks on Monday night, and it'll hopefully be close, but I'm hoping my team comes out on top, of course.
Can I just ask too, for people, because we're going to have a lot of people watching this who might not have seen the Bucs throughout the whole season, your guys' defense this year, because Todd Bowles notoriously, his defense is just always incredible. What does the defense this year look like compared to years past, especially the last couple matchups that we've had versus you guys?
Yeah, so we signed Hassan Reddick to a 1-year deal, and he's been pretty good, both against the run, which is a little bit more surprising than against the pass. He has a couple sacks this year, but he's been pretty good against the run. Vita Vea is obviously a monster inside. All football fans should know him. Levante David is, I think he's year 14 right now. He's still playing at a pretty high level. Sebastian Dennis has had some struggles defending running backs in the past game. He gave up a really long touchdown to Bijan Robinson week 1, and there have been a couple instances where he's been caught on an island and not done well. But the Bucs are beat up. Yaya Diaby had 2 sacks last week, has been kind of up and down. He's a guy you can take advantage of by getting out of his gap. The corners have been pretty good. The rookie corners, so Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame looks like he's going to return this week. He's been solid. But Jacob Parrish, who plays the slot, is a stud. He was a 3rd-round pick out of Kansas State. He's really, really good. He might be one of our 2 or 3 best defensive players, and he's not really well known. So he is a very, very good player. I would expect to see him on Monroe St. Brown quite often, just because St. Brown works in the slot pretty frequently. So that's a name you're going to want to know before Monday night, is Jacob Parrish. The safeties are pretty good. So Antoine Winfield Jr. is back and playing at an all-pro level. And Tyke Smith, who rotated down and played nickel last year, he's back at safety, which is a little bit more of a natural position for him. And he's been doing really well. So there have been opportunities for takeaways. They haven't taken advantage of them as much as they would have liked. But the past 2 weeks, I believe they've gotten interceptions in those games. So hopefully we can pick off Jared Goff at least once this week.
Yeah, Jay, I mean, the thing Lions fans have been kind of going through this offseason is the transition from Ben Johnson to now John Morton. And you actually have been through multiple transitions. I mean, you got Dave Canales, you got Liam Duval Cohen, who's actually doing really well in Jacksonville. And now you have a new OC this year. And it seems like you guys don't miss a beat. I think the surprising thing to me is Todd Bowles is doing this and Baker's doing this, and he's a defensive guy. Like, what has it kind of been with the change of OCs, but still the continued success at quarterback? Is it you'd say it's something more on Baker and his consistency, or is it something to do with Todd and identifying great OCs? What's going on over there in Tampa?
I think it's both. They're all pretty similar systems. So Dave Canales came from Seattle, and they had a lot of like Shane Waldron influence, who was with McVay and the Rams. So he ran a certain type of system. When he left, they went with Liam Cohen, who had experience with McVay and then took that system to Kentucky. But he ran a McVay type system. Josh Grizzard, who's the offensive coordinator right now, was with Liam Cohen last year. So the system is the same. Grizzard ran third downs last year. Now he just calls the whole offense. Todd Bowles, I think you can attribute it to two things. One, Todd Bowles knows what he can do and what he can't do. And he's not an offensive play caller, but he does know good offensive play caller. So I think that's one. But the other one is Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield has been through a new offensive coordinator basically every year he's been in the NFL. So this isn't super new to him. This is his second year in this exact system. So I think that certainly helps, and that's why you're seeing a little bit more of a bump. But, looking back in the past, now 2.5 years, he leads the NFL in touchdown passes. So he's been really good for a while.
What do you think for this game, Shay? Do you have a score prediction? Do you think it's going to be high scoring? I know the people watching probably are going to – I feel like I know which way you're going to go, but what are your thoughts here?
I don't think it's going to be as crazy high scoring as one might think. So I believe the game over-under right now is 52.5. I would err on the underside on that.
Okay.
I think it could be close, but I think we could see something like a 24-20 or 24-23 type game. I think it will be a close game, but I think both teams are really good and really well matched.
I have to throw this out there because I was driving over here to do the show, and just to hand up, probably last year when we had you on, this is a bad friend move here. I think we made a bet and the Lions lost, and I did not live up to the bet. So I have to go back and watch the film and think about this. I think I had to wear a Baker Mayfield jersey for a week after the loss. I don't think I did it. So we have to.
How about let's just boil it down to we don't need to do a week. We just do one day. But I pick Monday.
This Monday. Wear
on game day.
I got to get a Baker. I got to get a Baker jersey. I got to figure out a way to get a Baker jersey by Monday.
Yeah,
wow.
On our watch party, you're rocking the Baker.
That's going to be the people might not like that, but I have to live up for the bet. We have to get by Monday. We have to think of a new bet because we have to figure something out. We'll find something. Now I got to get a Baker jersey.
How do you guys feel about the game overall from your guys' perspective?
I think on our end,
not injuries in your secondary.
That's the biggest thing. And we actually, honestly, we talked about it all week. We feel lucky that you guys have a lot of wide receivers that are down and Brian Branch is out and Kirby. No one knows what's going on with Kirby because his knee has been going on since August, it feels like. I've been saying all week that I just feel like offensively we're going to have to score 30 if we want to win. That's the only path to winning with the defense right now, kind of beat up the way they are. I mean, we have guys that we've signed off practice squads and off the street that are going to be starting for us in the secondary on Monday night, which is that's always the worst. So I think it's going to be like a 30-27, 30-24 type game. Hopefully the Lions are able to pull it off. I think just the home field might end up being some sort of advantage, being in Ford Field. Hopefully that with the injuries, I feel like that's something to lean on a little bit.
Mm-hmm. It's a Lions defense that plays a lot of zone, and Baker's like one of the best zone. He picks a zone apart at the highest rate among any quarterback. Like, I just feel like it's a recipe. The Bucs are going to score a shit ton of points. Like, not a shit ton meaning 40, but they're going to get in the high 20s in my opinion. So they got to score 30 to win this game. I'm with Booner. Like, it's going to be
after Igbuka left the game last week. They did try to run it a lot. Like, I forget what Baker finished exactly passing. Maybe like 26 passing attempts, but 15 of those were in the first half. So I would expect to see a good amount of Rachaad White. And one name to keep an eye on if you're a very, very desperate fantasy owner, but a guy who could break out this week is Sean Tucker, who had a 9-yard touchdown run last week. He has been NFC Offensive Player of the Week before. If he gets touches, which is not a guarantee, but I think will happen if the Bucs look to run the football a lot more, he is, in my opinion, our best between the tackles runner.
Okay, Sean Tucker. I actually heard that name earlier this week. Someone came up to me and said, or last week, someone said, I picked Sean Tucker up in fantasy. I'm starting him. And I was like, who's Sean Tucker? Never heard of him, but know him now. All right, Shay. Hey, we appreciate you hopping on again. I will hold up my end of the bet. I'm going to do everything I can to get an express order Baker Mayfield jersey by Monday Night Football, and then we'll figure out another bet here. But we appreciate you hopping on here, Shay.
All right, later, boys. Go Bucs.
Hey,
Jeff.
Yeah, you know Jeff.
Jeff at the
I don't
end
know
there.
why.
Hey,
I think Jeff set us up for failure on that one. Shout out to Jeff. But him putting the end video. I texted you. I said, I think Jeff put an ending video on this whole thing here. And then it's just, hey guys, it's Jeff Iafrate. Oh, that's killer, dude.
Yeah, but dude, Shay's the man, and it sounds like, I mean, you have to get a Baker Mayfield jersey.
Yeah, that was a pretty big bomb. I wasn't expecting.
Not an easy thing to do.
Do you know anyone that's a Tampa fan that has a Baker jersey, or just in general? Do you know anyone?
No.
You're someone who knows a lot of people with jerseys. I feel like.
Hold on. Let me ask you something about what you just said. Can I do that?
Yeah.
What about me?
Younger crowd loves jerseys, especially football jerseys.
I do not know anybody that has a Baker Mayfield jersey.
Nick P said I do. Nick P, do you actually have a Baker jersey? Is this real?
He could be busting your chops.
If Nick P, if you have a Baker jersey, if I could wear it, I just need a Baker jersey from someone. That's it. If someone has a Baker jersey, he has a signed. I can't do a signed one because if the Lions win, I will tear it off me. Not rip it, but I will wear it for the Kool-Aid video after, and then maybe pour some beer on it.
And dude, it's so tough. Like watching. I love Baker Mayfield, dude.
Me too.
He's
one of the best in the game right now.
He's so awesome. And like you heard what Jared Goff had to say about him, and he said he didn't want to speak for Baker, but they had two very similar kind of career arcs where it felt like, they got shipped off to teams to die, and they both, found ways to be successful in their own way. And I mean, Baker's the man. He said it best when early in his career, when he was struggling, his like moxie and everything, it was cocky and unnecessary. But now that he's good, it's cool that he has that confidence. But I'm glad that, all those guys like Colin Cowherd and everything were wrong about Baker, because he's a dog and he just got put in some tough spots in Cleveland, and Carolina, teams like that. So should be a great game on Monday, but hopefully Baker throws for 100 yards and 4 interceptions. Yeah,
I'm not looking forward to. Dude, is there any there's got to be somewhere I can get a jersey, right? Like a quick one, without. What do you think?
Hold on. Did we Nick P? Is it? Did you already mention this? I'm sorry. He said I'm a season ticket holder for Tampa.
Did not know this.
Where do you live? You live in Florida? Nick P, I feel like I do remember you saying something about.
He might have. Yeah, I thought JT Olsen was our only Tampa. Nick. Shout out Nick P though.
Yeah.
If it wasn't a signed jersey, Nick P, I would ask if you could send me your Baker jersey. If you know someone that has an extra one laying around and you can express ship me Nick P Baker jersey by Monday, and it comes in Monday, dude, that would be one of the greatest things of all time, Nick P. If you know anyone in the Tampa or in the Florida area that has one, or if anyone in the chat has any sort of connections for a Baker jersey and can help me out with this. Cause I mean, dude, I could, the only problem is I would just buy one and get one. There's zero chance on Fanatics or NFL website it gets here, right?
No, it won't be here in time.
0% chance. So I have to figure that out. I would like to live up to the bet.
Yeah.
It's
a good thing to do. It's a good thing to do.
So we'll figure that out. That sucks though. I'll potentially, and if I don't wear it Monday, I don't know what the bet after that. There might be a even worse punishment. I don't know. We'll figure that out. So now shout out to Shay for coming on the show though. I think it's just interesting, dude. Like both of these teams are beat up. I heard Dan Orlovsky today talk about the Lions. I don't know if you saw this, but he had brought up a point and everyone on the panel was like shook. And he was like, listen, like I went at Jeff for having the Lions above the Chiefs. I still think I would put the Chiefs over because they beat them head to head. But like Dan O was like, give me the Lions over the Chiefs right now in power rankings, essentially because he was like, the Lions literally have their whole secondary out right now. It was obvious that the refs weren't in their favor in that game. And he says if the Lions are fully healthy, that's the best team in football. I said it yesterday, Caleb. I don't know if you heard it. I think that if the Bucs were fully healthy and the Lions were fully healthy, those are the two best teams in the NFC right now. And hopefully, I think that would be a very, very good NFC championship game. These two teams matched up together. I think it's a potential preview. Like we've played against them now 3 times in 2 years. And if you meet them in the playoffs in the NFC championship game, that's 4 times in 2 years, man. That's a great matchup. Especially like you said, like I love Baker. I think Baker's incredible. I hate the fact that we got to constantly see him. I do, but I think I think the Lions and Bucs this Monday night game. I actually said this to Jeff. Like the winner of this game is the best team in the NFL on Monday night.
Yeah, I think that's true, especially like when in terms of the NFC, especially the way the Eagles are playing. This isn't the Philadelphia Eagles of old. There's some weird things going on with that team. I believe they've lost 2 straight. The Rams, there's still something a little fishy about the Rams. I think their offense is very Puka dependent, even though they have guys like Devontae Adams, who's still one of the best receivers in football. And Kyron Williams, who does have a fumbling problem. I think
the time,
right.
Huh?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's Tampa Bay, and I think it's the Lions, and whoever comes out of this game victorious, I think can be crowned the best team in not only the NFC but the NFL right now. That is not to discredit. And man, people are gonna fucking have some things to say about this. Guys, the Chiefs are like really good, so they're still gonna be in that conversation. I know that was a tough loss last week, but guys, the Chiefs are still really good.
You do have to kind of give context, though. I think every loss has context. And I actually had the Chiefs above in the power rankings. I said head-to-head respect. Like that was like a day ago it happened. So you do have to respect it in a sense. But if they played when they're both fully healthy, and right now the Lions just aren't healthy. Like they're half of the defense is out, the secondary is out, and they're still staying in games. But that was why I put the Chiefs above, just because I know, like, hey, they're just not healthy right now. When they get healthy, they're the best team in football. You got to let them get healthy.
I agree, and that's not just like because I'm a Lions fan. I truly believe that when the Detroit Lions are fully healthy, they're the best roster in football, the best overall team in football. The explosiveness you get from the offense and just all of that talent you have on the defense, man. I mean, I think pound for pound, when the Lions are fully healthy, they're the best team in football.
I agree. I'm right there with you. Let's do this, Caleb. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Let's do score predictions for the game. I want to hear your score prediction and thoughts on what you think is going to happen here.
Ah, man. So what is spread? The spread's 5.5. I do think the Lions cover. I think that's a high spread. My final score would probably be, let's call it 20. Let's call it 27-21 Lions. I think Tampa Bay, they're gonna put up touchdowns. They're gonna score 3 times. But I just think the Lions come out with a win. And I think this is a very evenly matched game. Both teams have injuries. But I think you said it right in the interview with Shay. I think the home field advantage is going to have, something to do with the game. And as we know, another thing is the Lions haven't lost 2 games in a row in 2 years, Boone?
Yeah.
Something like that. So coming
almost
off
3
loss,
now.
Dan Campbell's going to have that team ready. So give me 27-21 Lions.
I kind of like that. I'm going to go a different direction. I'm going to say the Lions put up 30. I'm going to go 31-24. I think the Lions win by a touchdown. I think you see a couple touchdowns, 3 from Tampa in a field goal, and then you see 4 from the Detroit Lions in a field goal. So I'm going to go 31-24 in this matchup. I do think, like, that's a higher scoring game. That's the over, I believe, right? What was the over-under in this game?
I think it was 52.5, Jay said. But I like what the Keys to Wisdom has to say here. Goff is due to go off. He is ultra MVP level efficient, but he is due for the huge yardage game, 38-28 Lions. I don't hate that either.
Too.
I don't hate that either. I mean, Goff, like you said, he's been super efficient. He's done everything that Johnny Moe and this offense needs him to do, but we haven't seen that, 290, 310 yard game from Jared Goff. We did see the 5 touchdown game against Chicago, but
I think a big thing with Goff.
I think Goff is due for a ginormous fucking week this week.
Goff in this offense, coming off of a loss, and when they don't play that well offensively, they always find a way to bounce back and get back on track. This feels like that thing. I think they're going to figure it out with this run game. If Taylor Decker's back, that's an advantage for this O-line. You get another big piece back. So I think they put up a lot of points. I think they put 30 plus up on this Tampa game or team, and I think they take care of business. It just feels like everything is falling in line. Like they don't lose back-to-back games in almost 3 years. They're wearing the black jerseys. They're back home.
You played a team that beat you last year.
Yeah, the team that beat you last year.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you're coming off a loss versus the Chiefs with the refs screwed you, and Jared Goff and them didn't have their best game offensively. It feels like everything is kind of lining up to where it's the perfect storm for the Lions to go in and win this game. I would be shocked if they lose.
Really fast before we get into pick'em, I want to ask you about, because somebody asked you earlier in the chat about this. I want to know where your head's at on it. I saw a couple people mention it on Twitter. I don't know how much I believe this. Do you think we're going to get some home cooking from the refs after everything that transpired during the week? Do you think those 50-50 calls are going to go the Lions' way, or do you think it's just going to be officiated like a normal game?
I think it's going to be. I think it's one of you can argue. Yeah, it's going to be home cooked. I think all eyes are on the refs this week after everything last week. I think that you're going to see the NFL have meetings with refs, not just the Lions game, but in general, and dial it in. But more so, this Lions reffing crew, like, hey, we can't miss calls, especially because it's a Monday night game. It's a primetime game. They're going to make sure, the officiating, whoever's the head of officials for the whole NFL, they're going to make sure this crew is dialed in. I don't think there's going to be calls either way. I think it's going to be a very good reffed game. As crazy as that sounds.
And you don't hear that often. And you don't hear that often. And you don't see it often. But I mean, that's the way the game, the way the game should be. So hopefully we do see that. You never want the refs to interfere with an outcome of a game like we've seen, in the past. So
there we have it. We have the score predictions. Let's get into this thing now. Let's get into pick'em. I don't have the records this week. I have not gone back and checked them. But I think we all were pretty even this last week, I believe.
No, we weren't. Your boy, me. Caleb went fucking ballistic last week, and now I'm tied with Jeff. I went 8-2.
Do you know you're tied with Jeff for sure?
I'm tied with Jeff. You sent it last week. I think you sent it on like Tuesday. I think you sent the final records or Monday. So I wish you had the records here. Because your boy's getting hot. Your boy's getting hot. Went 8-2 last week. I'm seeing the board really well. All my NFL cards, which I'm tentative to send I'm tentative to put on Twitter because, like I said earlier in the show, they will lose if I put them on Twitter. But I'm seeing the board really well, and hopefully I can keep things going this week. Little sneak peek for this week, guys. I like a lot of favorites, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But
I'm gonna switch some of my picks now. I'm trying to go back to see if I sent it so I can just give it to the people. You said I sent it on Tuesday?
Yeah. Wait. Yeah, I believe so. Because we did the show. Wait. I might be thinking of a different week. Am I thinking of 2 weeks ago?
I think you are because I don't see it here.
Did we not do it? Oh wait, hold on.
I'm looking.
You texted the. Let's see. Oh wait, no, I did not go 8-2.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think you thought you did, and then when we did it, we were all like, actually.
I did 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so I haven't sent this week's. I think a lot of the records were about the same. So I don't think there was any changes in the standings. I think that me and you might have been like 5-4, or I think we were all around 500 this last week. I'll get it for Sunday.
I do not think I did well last week.
Oh, you said this whole rant.
I was thinking about 2 weeks ago. We didn't have the Friday show because the Tigers played in that 15-inning fucking disaster clash.
Caleb, you just did a whole rant about how good you are.
I got my weeks mixed up, but I don't think I had a good week last week. So we'll see here. Golly.
That's a tough look for you. That's not good.
All right. The whole last weekend was an absolute blur after what happened with the Tigers. Okay. Whatever. Well, let's get into it. Let's
start it. Pick 'em. Week 7. I believe it's week 7 in the NFL, correct? You know what I know what's going to happen too? Me and you, since we're the only ones on the show today, we might have the best weeks on Pick'em this week. We might end up having the best weeks.
And you're going first, right?
I'm going first. You'll go second. Hey, let's get this thing rolling here. By the way, the Commanders coming off a tough loss, man. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
First game here. This is at 9:30 a.m. I believe it's in either Dublin or England. One of the two. I don't know how to do accents. One of the two.
Those are both the same accent.
I don't know how to do accents. Rams are favored by 3. It's essentially technically a home game for the Jags, but it's in England. Who are you taking in this one? Rams, Jags. Rams 3-point favorites, Caleb.
Thanks for asking me first. That's very polite of you, but I believe
I'm first.
Going first.
See, this is weird. When I go first and I have to say the game, I'm going to do this. No Puka Nacua. He is officially out. I know that Stafford's good. Defense is good. Jags coming off a loss, I believe, correct?
Yes,
Am I coming off the loss? I remember seeing Duval, and I also heard Ron Rivera say that the best up-and-coming coach in the NFL, you know who it is? It's Liam Cohen. And Liam Cohen had a good post-game speech last week being like, boys, this is what – we love losses because we get built off losses. This is where we become who we are, and what we're about is in these losses. Give me Liam Cohen. I want to learn how to be built in a loss. Give me Liam Cohen over the Los Angeles Rams. 3 points, Caleb? I'll take the 3. I bet you it might be – hold on. Are you taking the Jags?
I absolutely
can help us out here
for the same reason you are. I love Liam Cohen, man. From the minute they hired him, I knew he was going to be the guy there. They're winning in ways you really didn't expect them to win. Their defense has looked pretty good. Trevor Lawrence hasn't taken that step we thought he was going to, but man, I think this is a good get right spot for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to take them with the 3, and I'm hoping you're saying if it moves to 3.5, we could take it at that.
Yeah, but I just looked. It did not.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take them either way. I would take them as 3-point favorites in this game. Like you said, no Puka Nacua for the Rams. And, give me the Jags, +3.
Caleb, I'm going to start something new here on Pick'em. Do you write all your picks down?
Yep.
Okay. I'm not going to write your picks down. Just send me your picks at the end of the show. Just take a picture and send it to me. Okay. That's all we're doing because I'm always writing it down. I'm done doing it. I don't want to mess it up. All right, Eagles -2.5 in Minnesota, going on the road. Listen, Caleb, Eagles team is falling apart. I don't know if you saw it today. I was watching Diana Rossini talk about the Eagles on Part of My Take this morning. I was so I didn't watch the whole episode. I went just to that part because I saw a clip about it, and I'm like, I'm interested what's going on in this Eagles locker room and what's happening. This actually. And Diana Rossini is good at her job. Like, she knows what she's talking. She is one of these insiders. She's like, this is not good what's happening in Philly right now. And they're going to do everything they can not to trade anyone. But it seems like there is genuine issues. I don't know if you remember 2 years ago when that coordinator change happened and they couldn't figure out anything on offense and they were struggling. They were winning games, but they weren't good. It was very weird. That was the feeling I got of this team a couple weeks ago. And Jeff kept making fun of me because I kept picking the Eagles to lose, but they've lost back-to-back games. I think the Eagles win this game, Caleb, and I think they cover the spread 2.5. I still think this team's going to be a disaster all year. This is just one of those spots off of back-to-back losses to where they're going to get a win versus a Minnesota team with Carson Wentz, but then they're going to get right back and struggle again. Give me the Eagles.
Yeah, this is man, the spread's weird because, going into the year, going into week 7, I'm sure we thought the spread would be something like 7.5, and it's not like Minnesota's been playing fantastic football. So this is definitely a weird spread, only 2.5-point favorites. I know they're on the road, but still a weird spread. I'll say this, kind of the same. Like you were saying, they're going to win this game just to keep it afloat. And then after this, I think it starts. The boat starts sinking, but they're going to get a win here to calm everything down. They could win by a field goal, Boone. They could win by a game-winning field goal, and we get the win here. So I'm going to take Eagles -2.5 as well. I'm hoping we aren't aligned on every single one of our picks for entertainment purposes.
Oh, no. This is not good. All right, next game, the New Orleans Saints are on the road versus the Chicago Bears. Caleb, I'm just going to keep this one simple and short. I'll never pick the New Orleans Saints. Give me the Chicago Bears -4.5.
Well, you don't.
And they're starting to look kind of decent too.
You don't want to say that, Boone, because I believe I did take the Saints one week and they did come out victorious. I did straight bet them money line against the Giants too, and they won. But yeah, the Bears are starting to figure something out, which is a little bit scary. That it took a fumble last week for them to win, a Jane Daniels fumble, but I think the Commanders are a lot better than the New Orleans Saints. And look, I think this Saints team is a little more competitive than people think, but I think the Bears are gonna win this game by 5 points. So give me the Bears minus 4.5.
This is bad. This is not good, Caleb.
Yeah.
This is not good. All right, and I don't want you to change your picks just based off what I put. I want to know if we're on the same path. Carolina on the road, New York Jets. Aaron Glenn. I don't know if you saw the report today. New York came out and said that they will not fire Aaron Glenn this season or in the offseason. They are taking a long approach on this, and they are going to let this thing play out. The fact that they even have to say that in week 7 in year 1 is insane to me. I think this Jets team's a disaster. I don't think I'll catch myself betting on this team once this year. Not Chuba Hubbard. Rico Dowdle is unbelievable. This guy might be the best player in football right now.
Adrian Peterson,
it's insane. It's nuts. And I don't see this Jets team stopping Rico Dowdle. So give me the Carolina Panthers 1.5. Essentially, it's almost money line. So I'll take the Carolina Panthers in this one.
This sucks. I mean, yeah, give me the Panthers, dude. Give me the Panthers. The Jets are an absolute disaster. That team is so incredibly bad. One of the worst football teams I've watched in a long time. Yeah, I don't even feel bad for Aaron Glenn because a lot of it is what is his doing. So, give me the Panthers, man. Give me the Panthers. Please tell me you were on a different side on this game.
Pats minus 6.5 versus the Tennessee Titans. This is a revenge game for Mike Vrabel. Okay, I'm in a predicament here, Caleb. What are my 2 big things when I do pick them?
Yeah, I fired head coach. You bet on the team with the fired head coach.
Fired head coach, but also I love myself a revenge game. And Mike Vrabel got screwed in Tennessee. Screwed. And he just has a good football team. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to stick to my guns, Caleb. And I never go against it. Give me the fired head coach in that team. They always find a way to stay in it. Give me the Tennessee Titans plus 6.5.
All right. So
you're changing over there. You're changing over there. No, you were on Tennessee. Stay on Tennessee.
I was on Tennessee. I'm switching.
You can't do that. Me and you are so lockstep right now.
I know.
What if I go undefeated and that's your one loss?
And this will make you feel better as well. You're taking one. So this is a 2-system play. So one of them was the coach fired. Another one was the revenge game. You could take the coach fired. I take the revenge game.
But you wanted the coach fired. You originally are on the coach fired.
I literally had. I will show you the picture after the thing. I had Tennessee plus 6.5 question mark next to it. I swear on my life.
I wanted me and you to be in the same lockstep for every game. I thought that would have been sick. See how it is though.
I'm gonna take the Pats minus 6.5 here.
All right.
They look phenomenal, by the way. And
they look so good, dude.
Phenomenal.
They might win not the Super Bowl, but they might win a playoff game. All right, Colts on the road versus the Chargers. Listen, I think the Chargers team's good. They are without every single offensive lineman in the world, and this Colts defense is very, very good. This is a very good defense. I want to take the Chargers here in this spot because I can't see them going 4-3, falling to 4-3. But I just don't know if they could figure something out until they get like Joe Alt back. I don't know. It's very weird. So I'm just gonna go the Colts here. The Colts play very good football, man. I'm gonna go Colts plus 1.5.
All right, yeah, we're on different sides again. I think Vegas is telling you exactly what's going to happen in this game. They have the Chargers to win it, and I think that's the way I'm going to go. I'm going to go Chargers minus 1.5. Speaking of winning it, the Red Wings just won. Dylan Larkin.
I hate to say this to you. I had it on the screen here. They're still playing hockey right now. I'm watching.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just got a notification from the Red Wings. Dylan Larkin wins it. So go Wings. It's big time.
All right, we gotta get that on our socials.
Yeah,
would you be able to do that while we talk here? All right, I'm gonna try and talk long here. Giants at Broncos. Broncos 7.5 favorites. Is that 7.5 now? Let me see real quick. No, it's still 7. I hate that number. Scatterbo, Jackson Dart. I'm never betting against Scatterboo and Jackson Dart again in my life, Caleb. Give me them +7 for a touchdown versus the Broncos. That they're electric. They might actually be a good football team. Honestly, they might actually be a legit football team. So give me the Giants +7.
There is not many better fronts in football than the Denver Broncos, and the Giants are going to want to run the ball, and they're not going to be able to do it against the Broncos. Give me the Broncos by a touchdown here, -7. Best defense in the league against a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back. Give me the Broncos here, -7.
All right, like that. I am now. Washington is on the road. Next game, Washington Commanders on the road versus the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys 1.5-point favorites. I originally had Washington in this game. They both are coming off a loss. I'm going to take the home team here. I'm actually going to take the home team -1.5 to win this game. I don't know what it is in these AFC or NFC East matchups. It feels like the home team will have the advantage. I don't know why. But in Jerry's world, I can't see a world where Dak just doesn't go off. George Pickens has been good. This defense is average, but this is going to be a tight game, and I just feel like the home team is always the way to go in these.
Yeah, I'm going the Cowboys as well. The Commanders did not look great. I know the game was in the rain against the Bears. But, man, Jane Daniels did not look comfortable back there. They don't have Terry McLaurin again. Give me the Cowboys -1.5 at home. I really like that line.
It's a weird – it feels like Washington should be favored if they were actually like a good team. I don't know why. With no CD, I don't know. It's just weird. Green Bay on the road, Caleb versus the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know if Kyler Murray's playing. I can check here real quick for us just so we have an idea. Let me do that. But Green Bay is 6.5-point favorites on the road in Arizona. Typically, the Arizona puts up a fight. Looks like Kyler Murray's questionable. They're just going through so many injuries, man. So many injuries. Give me the Green Bay Packers -6.5. I hate doing that. I really do. I don't ever want to take Green Bay, but I'll take Green Bay in that one.
Sorry, I was just getting that post up. Yeah, the Cardinals suck. I mean, that team is not good at all. Jonathan Gannon, I mean, he's got to get that team together soon. Because they are not looking great. Give me the Packers -6.5 in this one. The Packers haven't covered in their past 2 games, and they have been playing great teams. I think this is their kind of get right week where they're going to beat up on the Cardinals a little bit. Give me the Packers -6.5.
All right. Oh, you got Packers. Me and you actually are on a lot of games. I think there's only 2 games we're not together.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Hold on, -6.5. Last game, Atlanta. We usually do Monday Night Football, Lions or Monday Night Football, so we keep them out of the pick'em today. Atlanta Falcons are on the road versus the 49ers. Is Brock Purdy in? I have been trying to figure this out with this Brock Purdy situation.
I don't know. I know Pearsall's out again. I'm not sure about Purdy and
no
Mac
Fred
Jones.
Warner.
I think the game is easy no matter what.
I'm going the 49ers. I'm going the 49ers at home. Kyle Shanahan always finds a way to win these games. And I think one of the biggest things with this game is with this Falcons team, a lot of people are like, oh, they're good. I think they win these games like they did last week, like a big emotional win, and everyone starts talking about them. And then I think they have a letdown week. I don't think they put these games back to back together. And I think the 49ers are just the 49ers. They find ways to win. They really do. Kyle Shanahan always does. Brock or Mac Jones, 49ers win.
Okay, well, I want to give a special shout out to our guy, Spenmo Rax, on the heavyweights, because he put it perfectly. And this is exactly what I was thinking. And that was just reassurance from him on my part. No Fred Warner. And the Falcons love to run the ball. Obviously, they have one of the best, if not the best, running back in all of football, in Bijan Robinson, however you pronounce his name. I think the Falcons are going to run all over them. Give me the Falcons +1.5.
There we go. That's a win for me. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much. That was a good pick. We have to get the other fellows. We have to get their thing. By the way, Louisville on the road not on the road.
I'm watching
on the road versus number 2 Miami.
Yeah,
it's 24-13 in the fourth quarter. Miami's about to drop one.
They just called roughing the passer on a interception.
Yeah,
no way.
But they're still down essentially 2 scores. Miami is, and this was a team where I talked to Klotz a lot about college football every day. Klotz has told me the only 2 good teams in football is Ohio State and Miami. Miami's about to lose. Ohio State's played no one.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a real football team in college football right now. I'll just say that. Let me get this music off, by the way. All right, drop mailbag questions too. Start dropping some mailbag questions. We got 10 minutes here. Caleb will literally ask or answer anything. I won't. Caleb will. That's the perks of having Caleb on the show on a nice Friday night. This guy will answer any question you have.
True. I'm an open book, everyone. I'm an open book. Still got this music going.
Yeah, no, give it a second. Watch. Wait for it. And it's gone.
There we go.
Imagine if it started back up again. I would probably tell my computer. I wouldn't know what to do. All right, let's see if we have any questions. Drop some questions here for the people, for us. Let's get some questions. What are you doing tomorrow, Caleb? You got anything this weekend?
Well, we got Mr. Iafrate. He's celebrating his birthday, so that's gonna be cool. I am working tomorrow morning.
Yeah, you know what? That was a tough text to see you and Mike.
And I called Jeff to apologize, but so there will be no Saturday morning show tomorrow. I do have to work tomorrow morning, but got to pay the bills.
I'll tell you what, too, and I don't want to make you feel bad because I know you truly.
Don't say it. Then don't say it.
You don't want me to say it? I won't say it.
Can we do this real quick, Boone? Because since there will be no Saturday show tomorrow, and I'll try to get to mailbag questions a little bit. You want to talk Scuba a little bit?
Okay, let me bring this up. Yeah, let me set you up for this because let me tell you my side of everything, and then I want to hear yours because I want to make sure you're our Tigers guy, you're a baseball guy. I want you to and drop mailbag questions. I'll be marking them here as we talk Scuba. If we go Scuba a couple minutes here, I'll make sure we still do mailbag. We'll go a little over. That's fine. I want to make sure we get your guys' mailbags in because I see some coming in. So keep dropping the questions, Caleb. All right, this is me with Scuba real quick. I see a lot of people. I talked to you on the phone yesterday about it. A lot of people and a lot of fans I see calling into the radio stations, doing this, doing that, being like, we don't want Scuba anymore. He didn't go past 6 innings in the elimination game. He's not one of us in Detroit. He's not a Detroiter, blah, blah, blah. Let him go. I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. Tarek Scuba put you back on the mat. He made this Detroit Tigers organization relevant again. Whether you like it or not, he is the main driver behind all of that. That's a fact. No doubt, no question, nothing. Tarek Scuba is the number one reason because of that. I think it's one of the most ridiculous things that fans want him out. You should be ashamed of yourself because, and Caleb, I had someone in the chat yesterday, he's probably still in here, shout out, who was like, let him walk and come back here, go in a World Series somewhere else and come back and retire here. No, I'm tired of Max Scherzer doing that, of Justin Verlander, Stafford. I'm tired of Detroit athletes, us just letting them walk, especially the Tigers organization, them winning somewhere else, and then people being like, we love them so much, bring them back. It's the worst. And for Chris Ilitch and them, it's an embarrassing moment of your organization's history that for the second year in a row, it gets put out in the media that you lowballed the best pitcher in all of baseball, and you have him in-house, and he states he wants to be here. You could easily just say, what do you want? Let's get it done. There's no salary cap. Get the deal done. Keep him here. And for the next 3 years, you have a chance, no matter what, if you do this right, to be in a World Series conversation. But they refuse. They refuse. They're idiots. They're dumb. That's it. They're dumb. All right. Am I wrong with any of that?
Okay. Well, first thing.
Long-time listener, first-time caller. I'll sit back and listen.
First thing. One thing that's great about what we do and everything is that everybody is entitled to their own opinion. And Weezy D, I see you in the chat. Caleb, I know you feel me. Weezy D, I have and I have never disagreed with someone more, honestly, because that is such a weird way to look at it. I'm sorry, because this guy Tarek Scuba, like Booner said, put your team back on the map. Do you know there were 42? And 97-1 said the stat. Do you know there were 42-20 when Scuba was on the mound, and when he wasn't pitching, there were 131 and 131 in the past 2 years. Scuba was essentially when your offense decided to play was essentially a lock for a win when he was on the mound. He has done so many fantastic things for this franchise. He is the best pitcher in the baseball and has been for the past 2 years. So for you to say, by Scuba, you're not one of us, blah, blah. That is absolutely crazy to me because I think he does want to be here. And he says it a million times. There's a business to it too. And when he gets an offer that's, $250 million, and we'll get to that in a second, $250 million lower than what he wants. Yeah, there's a business to it, man. He's a pitcher. Who knows what could happen to his arm? He wants to get his money while he's in the league. I understand it. the flip side of that, the people giving him that money should be the Detroit Tigers. I've said that a million times. That's not a hot take. Everybody knows it. The Tigers should pay Tarek Skubal what he deserves. And you can look at it like, yeah, but he's a pitcher. He can get hurt in a couple years. That Miggy contract, we paid him for what he did before, right? We have to pay Tarek Skubal for what he's done for the city of Detroit and project that he's going to be good for these next how many ever years. So my take on, look, it's tough to say because I've been on the opposite side of this for a long time. If you're not going to pay Skubal, you trade him and before the winter meetings. If you're not going to pay him, if you know for a fact Scott Harris and Chris Ilitch are not going to be able to meet in the middle with Scott Boras, Skubal's agent, you have to trade him. You have to. And that sucks to say, but you have to somehow leave this situation feeling good about something. But you shouldn't get to that point because you should pay him.
You should pay him. There's no reason not to pay him.
And you should pay him.
If they 100%. Let him walk, if they don't pay him, Caleb, they will never. I tweeted it out. They will never pay anyone ever in this organization. Never. They never paid. They didn't pay Verlander. They don't pay no one. They paid They paid Miggy, and like you said, it was at the past where it's like, hey, this is what you helped us out. Here's a contract. Like they will never pay anyone, and they will never. And like they're just going to constantly be in this stuck of a lull, constantly.
Weezy D, it's just the message they're sending as well, because they've been known not to spend money, and you finally find someone in your organization that's worth a damn to give money to, and they're just going to let them walk. You just can't do that. You can't do that. Yeah. What message are you sending to your fans? And you know what the hardest thing to do in all of baseball is, or at least one of the hardest things, is finding an ace. And not only did you find an ace, you found the best fucking one in the league, and he's homegrown, and you keep him around here. You keep him around. I don't care that he's 28 years old. And those rumors, let me calm down for a sec, because those rumors that we saw about, them being $250 million off, those might be a tiny bit misleading, because it could have been the years. The Tigers could have offered him, not a math guy here, but the Tigers could have offered him 4 for $200, so that's about $50 million a year, and it could have been a year's thing. He could have wanted, 7 years or 8 years in his contract. So that's where that $250 million might have came up. But no matter what Skubal wants, you should give it to him. I don't care. He's the best pitcher on the planet. He's essentially an automatic win when he's on the mound. And you could say, but we didn't win his last 4 starts because the offense didn't know what they were doing. Right? They were feeble, if that's a word. I think that's
a word. No, I'm right there with you. And people are like, well, he took himself out in the 6th. Okay. Like, you wouldn't have been any position to even win a football game if it wasn't for him. Or a football game, sorry. Baseball game.
You make a point. Scott Boras shouldn't be such a hoe. That's true.
But you know what you're dealing with. He's the best pitcher in baseball.
You know what you're dealing with. And Skubal.
Has Skubal ever got a big contract in his career?
Skubal is able to tell Scott Boras, hey, I want to be in this place. Like, I could take $50 million less, and that might happen.
But there is a point though, and this is where you do have to, and I think this is where I know, and shout out Weezy, this isn't me going at you. I know the difference between Weezy as a fan. Like, Weezy's one of those guys, I bet, who are like, take a hometown discount. That's not a real thing in sports. Welcome to the real world. That's not a real thing. Players that have already been paid massive deals and players who have already won championship, those are players who take those types of deals and will take a discount. You don't see a player like Skubal who hasn't gotten his big deal yet and who is also the best player in baseball sit back and just say, I'll take a discount. That doesn't happen in sports. People act like it does. It doesn't. People are like, oh, Tom Brady did it. Tom Brady just added $1 billion in dead cap on his deals. Tom Brady's still one of the most all-time paid quarterback or players in the NFL of all time. He still got his money, structured it differently. Like, these guys, I hate, just pay him his money. Being like, take less. Scott Boras should take less. Skubal should. That's the dumbest excuse for your owner that doesn't want to pony up some money. Pay the guy and move on. You don't have a salary cap. What are we talking about here? Why didn't Amon-Ra take a discount? Why didn't these other guys take a discount? They got paid their top money when the market was the market.
And Scuba's going to be a guy that resets the market. And and
so it's just what it is, man. You got to pay him.
You have to pay him. It will be total fucking disaster and a failure from an organizational standpoint if you are not able to retain Tarek Skubal. It is.
All right, Caleb, good Skubal talk. Couple things here real quick. Just want to get these before we end the show. Nobody donated $5. Sorry, we didn't get to this. If you're still here, nobody. He said, "Whoa, Caleb, are you going to fight Caleb after what we was said yesterday, Friday night fight? Are you going to fight yourself, Caleb?"
Yes, and you.
You don't want that. Come on now. Phil, mailbag. Your favorite pasta dish? I just like some I like homemade meatballs. My grandma's meatballs. That's like my favorite.
I'll take like a carbonara. I
guess it's not really pasta. Carbonara is good. Yeah, I guess it's not really pasta. I just like the meatballs with some pasta, just nice pasta with some nice sauce. Did you see Larkin win an OT? We did, Anakin. I was watching it. Caleb told me about 40 seconds before it happened while I was watching it live. It was pretty sick. It was a nice one-on-one goal. Mailbag. Who are you taking? Derek Brown or Jalen Carter? Because I think Alim and Carter are in the same tier. Carter, best season, 6 sacks. McNeill, 5.5. And McNeill better against her. I'm taking Jalen Carter. What are we talking about here, Nick P? Come on now.
Yeah, I'm probably taking Jalen Carter. He's an animal.
He really is.
And he's spit on Dak Prescott, which is not
so
cool.
good,
you
dude.
shouldn't do that, but I'm really sweating this under here over here, Boone. I got 49.5. So a touchdown I lose.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure Louisville fumbled or something.
They fumbled at like the 20, the opposite way.
Man.
That was not good.
Man.
All right. There we go. That'll be the show for the night, Caleb. No show tomorrow. Obviously, you're working tomorrow. We're gonna actually go. All the boys will be out celebrating Jeff's birthday around the Detroit area. So if you guys are around there, we'll be around. Our whole crew, essentially. I think, or most of the crew. So I think Spenny will be out at some point. Easy, all the boys. We'll see a lot of the boys out tomorrow for Jeff's birthday.
Sure.
So shout out everyone tuning in here. I know it was kind of a weird Friday, but Monday night. No show Monday night because we're going to be doing the live watch party pregame show Monday night as well. So make sure you guys come tune in for that. We'll see you guys later. Love you guys.
Peace out.
Peace.